live. Hello there, everyone. Hello.
Everybody.
Hello. Woo! Okay, so we are now live. You can't be heard. Say something again, guys.
Woohoo!
You can be heard.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
We can all be heard. So welcome
Excellent.
to Superkick Mania Pro Wrestling Podcast. So I have tried doing something funky with the cameras today. If anyone's looking at it, I'm going to leave it as it is, but it still needs some work. But we actually have a non-zoom restricted view of us today. So I can juggle our positions on the screen if I need to.
Madness.
I know, it's I'm not going to touch it at all, so we're just basically where Zoom put us anyway. Right, so my name is David Postansky, and on the show, as always, you know, it's becoming a fantastic tradition, we have DeGreeno, Dave Green.
Hello, everybody.
And then we have the soggy man himself, Samuel O. George.
Oh, George.
I think you'll find it's Samuel O. George, a.k.a. the Quiet Riot. Let's get ready to rock on with our socks on.
Okay, and I am the notorious DRP, David O'Reilly Postansky. And Dave, do you want to introduce what we will be watching today?
Indeed. So each week we take turns in choosing a topic we go chat about, or in this case, watch, and we're going to do another watch along. So our last one was so much fun. So we're going to watch along with some independent wrestling and one of the finest British promotions there is at the moment, Riptide Wrestling, and we're going to watch the Riptide Rumble from 2018.
Woo, Riptide Rumble 2018.
So just to go, you guys have never seen Riptide before. Is
No.
that right?
Not a clue. Don't know what we're getting
Excellent.
ourselves in for.
So I think after we delved into OTT a little while back, and I think you guys enjoyed that, didn't you, for the most part?
Yeah?
Absolutely.
And so there are quite high production values here. The production values on Riptide are amazing, and you're going to really enjoy this. They call it cinematic pro wrestling. And there's a reason for that, which you should be able to see straight away from the opening match. So there are, I think, about 6 matches all together in this one, including the Rumble match at the very end, which is a traditional Rumble match. It's intergender as well, so there's a few intergender feuds and matches throughout this entire thing. So if you don't like gender wrestling, sorry about that, but we are going to watch it. There's a few various different characters, which and some storylines are interwoven into the show, which I'll try and explain as we go along. But for the most part, it's a really good fun show. I was there live for the show. You might catch a glimpse of me in the front row, which would be quite fun if you do, but if not, don't worry. So as I say, let's just bring up the cage match on here. So obviously you guys don't do that, but I will just double check.
So if anyone wants to be able to watch along with us, let's give them plenty of time to prepare. Just as we're
absolutely
saying this. So the best place, Dave. You've got all of the deets.
Yeah, best race is Riptide wrestling.pivotshare.com, which obviously is their own Pivot Share site. So if you want to get onto them, then I'm sure most people who are into Riptide already know the place to go there. But just literally to go to riptidewrestling.pivotshare.com. If you are on any of the other sites, though, I think there are places like the High Spots Network or Powerstorm.tv and other companies that have also got Riptide on there. So if you, in any way which you can, any way you want to watch the Riptide Rumble or can do through legal means, then please do so.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to join us, and give you a heads up to do that, and we'll give you a countdown in a Rumble, traditional Rumble style. And we'll press play and we'll be off then, shall we, gents?
Yeah, I'm ready when you guys are. So.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you're ready, let's do it. So
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
So we've got headphones on so we can hear the show and listen to each other. Already the show's too loud in my ears, so I'm going to turn that right down.
Okay, I see a
right, we're starting
logo
off.
that says Riptide. Candy Floss I'm seeing on screen.
So, yeah, we've got Candy Floss versus Shakara.
Ooh.
So right away, you can see what I mean by the production values. We're getting these slow motion entrances and we're straight into the action.
Interesting, yeah, you're right. So no ring entrances. But obviously if you were there live, I'm sure they come down the aisle traditionally, right?
Come out from where that curtain is. It's the Bright Helm Centre in Brighton. It's like a sort of traditional sort of leisure centre, not leisure centre, sort of community centre sort of like thing. They've got a stage in there for shows, and they've got a nice little area at the back. Right at the back there where all the lights are, that's the merch village, where all the wrestlers bring their merch out. Because it's Brighton, they're very into their vegan food and everything like that, so there is a vegan hot dog stand in the area as well.
Yeah.
And they're very good, they're very nice. There's no little story in the match as such, it's these two just... they're both based like London sort of way. I think in real life they are legit best friends as well. They've wrestled each other a lot.
Yeah.
And so Candy Floss, somewhat recognised from NXT UK. She's been there a few times. It's interesting with Candy Floss. She's like, you see like the bubblegum sort of like poppy sort of like I don't know, like an anime sort of style look about her, but she's a very technical wrestler.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it looks like we're starting things quite technically here.
Shakara's mantle is the Golden Goddess. There's a few different looks over
It's
the
interesting
years, but,
camera angles. You said about like cinematic pro wrestling. We've just got this slightly rotating camera angle look, which is quite different from a lot of what you see.
Yeah,
it always gives a sense of motion.
Yeah, they really thought about their production. I think their first show they didn't release on VOD because the lights were a little bit too dark for the camera work, and so they got it right for the second show. And I say everything sort of like as a roaming camera. So even the guys who are like down at ringside are not like they're very smooth in where they move. And you've got the roaming sort of like moving camera at the top of the stage as well, which is like literally a crane camera of some kind, I think.
Sam, what do you think of what you're seeing? Interesting.
Sam, are you there?
Okay, I just need to... Okay, so Sam has completely frozen.
Oh no.
I know, Sam, there is
moving a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
Can you hear us, Sam? Sam? Can you hear us? No, we can't hear you.
Okay, Sam, can you not hear Dave? We can't hear you, Sam.
Yes, I can't hear you.
Am I back?
You are back.
Got you.
Okay, so...
We're just asking what you're thinking and what you've seen so far.
Oh, yeah, so I was sort of thinking, because for some reason when I had my headphones plugged in, I had no sound. So I could only hear you two. So I tried taking them off, and I was going to start using a different pair, and I didn't realise you were asking me any questions. The action seems pretty hot and heavy first, though.
Absolutely. Just going to double check how it's coming across on the Twitter.
Yeah, certainly.
Quickly. Oh yeah, that's right. We can't. So we obviously got our friend, we can hear the action going on. But if you are watching along with this, we are literally in the middle of the Shakara Candy Floss match at the beginning. So if you just joined us, we are still sort of near the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, my headphones have started working, and that is bloody loud.
So down on the actual pivot site, I think that's what happened to me. Started the thing, I was like, oh my god, that's actually way too loud. I can't hear you guys.
Okay, what was that?
Backracker.
Okay, so you're on Backracker, so you might be a second ahead of me. But what was it? She seemed to throw sunk in her face.
I didn't see what it was.
Oh, okay.
Did Shakara threw something in her face, in Candy Floss's face? I think she was trying like a mist sort of dust sort of thing. It's the Golden Goddess. I think she was throwing like gold dust or something like in her face or something.
Yeah.
It might have been. She doesn't do that anymore. So I think it's another case of like a young wrestler trying to find like something that works and trying it out for a while.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, what a slap.
Yeah, they're quite... Oh! That is the Candy Cane.
So it's
armbar. And that is it.
She's tapped. That's all she wrote. Okay, good opening contest.
Yeah, short. Shouldn't have just a short nice energetic opener thing. Shakara's in the Rumble match later on. I think she was a replacement for someone who was originally supposed to be.
Are there no turnbuckle pads?
Why it's crossed. Huh?
So, there's not turnbuckle pads on all of the turnbuckles. I've just noticed.
I'll tell you about that in a moment. But this is the angles coming up for this match. So, Kenny Foster at the moment in Riptide has been brought in a feud with Cara Noir, who is the Black Swan, who does the Swan Lake sort of entrance style stuff, and he's been constantly attacking her at shows.
This appears to be done in a school hall where they've got the stage and then they've got the wooden floor underneath.
Oh! There is actual Cara Noir.
Oh.
See how into it all the crowd are. They're giving everything.
Yeah.
They're doing all the right reactions for everything. He's doing something heelish, so they're booing him.
Yeah.
It's like... Put some pants on. Pants.
Yeah, you know what? He's literally Donald Ducking it under those tights.
Yeah. Cara Noir again is one of my favourites at the moment, and he has adapted his looks.
Well, I can see why, Dave. I mean, he's a stud.
He's very, very good, though. He's very, very good.
Okay, what's his name?
So, Cara Noir, she's trying to put the Kimura on him, but no. Bang.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah.
He really is freestyling it down there, isn't he?
So he's adapted it so far. He's not quite as see-through anymore. But yeah, he's doing the whole.
This is less see-through than it used to be.
No, this is about as see-through as you ever got. But
oh, okay, fair enough.
That's all right. But this is a few. This is all we see of Cara Noir, unfortunately, in this in this show. He's not in the Rumble, but
I think we've seen quite enough. You know.
But, yeah, he's a very good in-ring guy.
Spike Trivet, Money
now.
versus everybody banned from ringside.
Yes, so this is like that's the lead heel of the company, Spike Trivet against Mike Bird, and this is a qualifier for the Brighton Championship tournament, which is coming up later in this year. So Mike Bird from Wales, trained quite a few people in that sort of area. Spike Trivet is the typical sort of born with a silver spoon type. Essentially, he's a Tory.
Yeah.
Laugh at someone's pain, knobheads. Very loose-looking ropes.
Oh, did you hear the little ha-ha from the crowd?
Was that Nelson Muntz from The Simpsons?
That was me.
That was you?
Yeah, that was me. I've been trying that chant for ages at shows. It's the first time I ever managed to get it audible and at the right time.
Love it.
So I was going to say about the turnbuckles. So for whatever reason, the show started with 2 of the 4 corners with no turnbuckle pads on. And it was only after this match, I think, they finally got them out. I managed to get them out there. I think with some sort of shows, it depends on the timing of the very people that they hire the rings from and such like. And the ring they hire from Revolution Pro Wrestling, who are based in Portsmouth. Yep. So I don't know if it was a case of them just not getting there in time or they hadn't packed enough. Someone's probably revving down the roads right now at this point to get the other turnbuckles to them or something. I don't know, but
okay.
This for some reason it just started out without turnbuckle padding into the corners.
Yeah. But it's an interesting thing that gives a slight sign that probably they were half an hour before the show and they were like, where are the turnbuckles? And I know, just like from when we've done, I think it was, Sam, you probably did this show at the Aylesbury Waterside Theatre. We did Extreme Improv last year, and it was only during the interval I realised that there's like a whiteboard left at the back of the stage. And I was like, why didn't anyone How did we not notice? I didn't notice. I didn't notice until it was midway through the first half. I was like, well, we've got to leave it there now. I can't just come and shift this whiteboard halfway through the show.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh. So how long have Riptide been going?
Riptide first show was in June 2017. So at this point, it's nearly their year anniversary.
Okay.
So they haven't been going for very long, but they've rebuilt up a really strong fan base in Brighton, and despite that, by just putting on quality cards and really sort of accentuating guys that they can get on the regular, rather than just trying to reach out and overexpend on massive stars and things like that. So Spike Trevay at this point is only maybe about a year and a half, 2 years into his career at this point. So he's quite a rookie by comparison, especially with Mike Bird, who's been around for quite a while.
Yeah.
But Trevay came in with this character. He was trained as an actor. Actually, he was a reasonably successful actor apparently. But he really wanted to do wrestling, and so he came in with this character, which he got a promo film and everything like that of him, of the character, really well shot film, really well edited. And got a lot of eyes on him straight away, and because he's got this character, he's just really able to work the crowds really well. It's one of the reasons he's done so well so soon. And he gets better every time I see him in the ring. He does get better in terms of his ring work.
Yeah.
And this is why one of the things, he always has a bottle of champagne by him, just in case he needs a quick swig to dehydrate.
I landed very hard on the floor there.
Okay, so I've just gone onto their website just so we're watching along, and so the first one that comes up on their roster page is Spike here, and he says that he's the current Brighton champion.
Yes, this is as I say, this is June 2018, so about 2 years ago. And he has since then become the Brighton champion.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting a couple of comments coming through. Firstly, Daniel O'George says that he can hear us all, so that was a little bit earlier. But just a couple of minutes ago, we've got a message from Jimmy Messer on who did the show with us a couple of weeks back, or a week ago, I forget. Who has put scandal. I'm not quite sure what that refers to, Jimmy. If you want to explain your point of view there, but yeah.
What's scandalous about this one? We're just watching some good wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get ourselves out of the real world for a little bit and watch some good wrestling.
I mean, that's one of the best things about wrestling. It's just escapism.
That's a hell of a bump. What point are we all on? Are we watching the same bit? Because I've just seen Bird's just gone over the top rope quite hugely there, like the old Triple H.
Okay, so my time code is the best way I can explain it. Is at 2:09:38 and ticking down.
Oh right, yeah. You're a few seconds behind me. What about you, Sam? You with us?
I'm on 2:09:35.
Oh, okay, I'll spoil mine very quickly.
Yeah, I'm a few seconds behind.
Yeah, okay. Right,
that's all right.
Spoiled too much for you.
That's right. It's almost like the show's become a shadow now. It's one of those things.
I'll just pause a few seconds. So he's currently getting stumped on, but
yeah, that's what I've got.
Okay,
yeah, so where I'm sat is about basically where the cameraman's view is now. I'm to his right along, and I'm sat with my friend Helen, who convinced me to come to the show because she just loves a Rumble match and thought Riptide would go put on a really fun Rumble. And spoiler alert, they do.
Okay.
But obviously that's from my perspective. It's also the little time this year where Trevay was wearing his sort of waistcoat, shirt, and tie as in ring gear. That doesn't last a huge amount of time. He sort of does gets rid of the IRS look for a little bit after this, but wrestling in a tie is always a little bit dangerous, really.
Yeah, that was something with IRS like 20 years ago. I was like, it was always something that's like, or the wall in WCW. If you wrestle with a tie on, it's a massive disadvantage to you.
Yeah. That was always my favourite thing whenever IRS was like crawl backwards out of the ring and someone was standing on his tie.
Yeah.
And Bobby Heenan on commentary was exclaiming, "He's standing on his tongue!"
Oh yeah, off it comes now.
There we are, getting there.
Leaving his tie on, though.
Yeah, he's going for the Donkey Kong look. I like it. What did he call him? An effing pigeon?
He's my bird, so he just...
Oh, I get it. I like it. You pigeon.
Yeah. Sometimes Spike does cross the line a little bit onto like a funny bad guy, and some people do like laugh at some of the stuff he does. But he immediately just turns it around and says, "That wasn't for you. That wasn't for you. Do not laugh."
Yeah.
He's very good like that. So say his group is banned from ringside. He's got a bunch of handymen he pays basically to be his handyman. There's no like personal connection with them at all. He literally just pays them. Of Damon Moser and Chris Ridgway, who we'll see later in a tag match. But just remember that they're bad from ringside. That might remember that for later on in this match.
Sure. Well, I smell spoilers.
That's spoilers here. Just
yeah. Okay, Sam. So have you seen either of these two guys before, Sam?
No, never before.
Okay, who are you more impressed with here?
I mean, they're both equally impressive in different ways. You know, you've got the sort of abilities of Bird, where he's going over the top rope, he's hitting hard, he's going quite technical as well. But the character of Spike is brilliant. The way that he plays it, the way he's like turning to the crowd every now and again. I'm really liking them both in different ways.
Yeah. I think I'm slightly more impressed by Spike. I like his character work. I feel slightly more intrigued in what he's going for. Yeah, hell of a flying headbutt there.
It looks like a smaller ring than a lot of places have.
Yeah, it's sort of like standard Brit rest ring a little bit. I think it's like maybe like 14 foot by 14 foot maybe.
Wow, that's
it's a lot smaller than a Federation
the American
ring.
Ones are more like
20
I think the WWE ones I think are 18 by 18.
I think it's 20 by 20.
Yeah, I thought it was 20 by 20. Yeah,
18 or 18s are like a quite big for a British thing. I think Progress had an 18 by 18. I think. But different ones, but by no means the smallest one I've seen. Seen it up close. See all-star wrestling, they're literally like 12 foot by 12 foot.
I always like the really small rings that they'd have at like WrestleMania 4 with Andre the Giant coming down the aisle in a very small ring.
Right. Oh.
A little kick out. Where I used to work in holiday parks, they'd have wrestling come every week during the holidays. But both the places that I used to work in had really low ceilings. So it's quite nice seeing this, where people can actually go up on the top rope. They can do like a back body drop or something like that. Because the only other sort of independent wrestling I've seen, they can barely stand in the ring without hitting their head on the ceiling.
I've seen things like that before. I just realised I'm just talking about where the ring would have been from. It would have been from your mate Andy Boy Simmons.
Ah, good old Andy.
It would have been his ring, or it would have been his ring from the Portsmouth School of Wrestling.
Yeah.
They would have used. Very funny story when they do the Brighton Championship tournament. I'm going to say who wins it, as you want to watch Small Riptide. But the celebrations in the ring, the guy invites like a lot of the crowd to come into the ring with him to celebrate and things like that, and they just all jump around, dance around in the ring, and the ring collapses.
Oh wow!
Bent in the metal bar. So
how is that not a disqualification? So anyone not watching, we just had Spike pull the referee as a human shield. How is that just not a disqualification when he gets back up?
I guess it's just a case of like, I guess it's just
it's wrestling, mate.
Yeah, it's wrestling.
They make up the rules as they go along.
They do. 1, 2.
So the referee is down.
That's sort of a suplex into a pile driver. That was interesting.
Yeah.
That's the Steiner screwdriver, mate.
Nice.
We've also got the referee. I often see this on referees. I don't understand it, but they'll have like a band around the middle of their forearm.
That is, I know the referee actually, Tom Scarborough. His name is a good guy, but I think he's literally there for like wiping his sweat away. I think it's literally it. Just wiping sweat off his forehead when he's doing this stuff. That is his finish called the what's it called? The
a low blow.
I think I've skipped forward again somehow. I think I've hit the wrong thing. Yeah. As he just hit a move.
Oh, he kicked out! Oh, the drama! The drama!
I'm with you now, Sam. Okay. So his finish that was called the Birthright.
Okay.
Kicked out. But here we go.
Why has a wrestler never had a finishing move called the Afterbirth?
So his people are not allowed at ringside, so they're upstairs. Oh. They've dangled down a wrench for him.
A wrench? I thought he was plugging in an extension cord, Doc Brown style, Back to the Future. What? Hang on. Why didn't you just throw a wrench into the ring? I mean, I like the creativity there.
Exactly. He's been creative about it.
He's going to lower
in case
it
it fell
down.
on somebody else. In case it fell on somebody, I guess. Just want to make sure there's a crowd underneath and they don't want to. He shot the head. That's it. So Spike Trevay qualifies for the Brighton Championship tournament.
Wow. If I was that referee, I'd be like, no, mate, you grabbed me earlier.
See, the interesting thing is, I would say that his finishing move was actually more powerful than his hit to the head with a spanner. But yet the spanner is the one that knocked him down for 3.
Yeah. I think those sort of like shots, it's like it hurt you for a moment. It doesn't really knock you out, but anyway. But the first time I ever saw like a live wrestling show.
Okay, qualifies for the Brighton Championship tournament.
That's what I saw. A guy got knocked out by a flagpole with like the weakest shot I've ever seen, like a flagpole shot. And the guy who was refereeing, it was like the world's oldest referee, and literally was the slowest count. But it wasn't like a dramatic, like Earl Hebner style slow 3 count. That was his count for every single fall. Really slow.
Okay, here's something interesting. So we've got a few more comments, which I'll do better to try to keep an eye on these. So Daniel George says, I heard you mention Portsmouth earlier, something about turnbuckle pads. And then he follows up. And then Jimmy Messer says corner ring pads. So I think they're debating what they're talking about. Oh, Scandal was the missing ring pads. That's what they're talking about, the Scandal. Right. But then Daniel says, the Portsmouth School of Wrestling. My brother trains there.
Oh.
Daniel, who's your brother? We want to know.
Tell us. Oh. This is something they kept doing during their little reign of terror.
Break his ankle. Oh!
So he just went full Brian Pillman, Steve Austin angle, where he put his leg in between a folded chair and stamped on it. Surely breaking the Bird's ankle. But he still has both his wings, so he's defiant, flipping the Bird.
Yeah. Flipping the Bird, there we go. Yes. So Damon Moser and Chris Ridgway were the assistants there.
Good old David Starr is back.
David Starr, not being a nasty bastard like we saw last time. He's very much in good guy mode here, and he's against his very good friend and sometime tag team partner, Jack Sexsmith.
Jack Sexsmith.
So Jack's got a speech at the beginning of this match, which, if you listen, he'll sort of explain his mindset going into this one. So basically, he's having a bit of a run of bad luck at the moment.
Oh. Aren't we all in lockdown?
Yeah. Okay, I can't hear him. So he's just saying about who's going to be Brighton champion and Riptide. Okay, so he says he's not in the right place, but he wants David Starr to bring out the best in him.
Yeah. So, that's the premise. These two are like friends. They've been a tag team in Progress Wrestling and such, like as Sexy Star. And Jack Sexsmith, if you don't know anything about him, he sadly retired last year due to a severe injury to his foot.
Really? How old is he?
His Achilles. So only like 20-something. I think I've been 20s.
Oh, crying shame.
Or mid-late 20s, I'm not sure. But he's still like involved in the business and things like that. But he's just not able to wrestle anymore. But sadly, he had to retire. He got to announce it at Riptide, and it's sort of Riptide's like the place where he was really the most accepted and everything like that. He's pansexual.
Yeah.
So it's a pansexual phenomenon. So he was sort of like one of the sort of like really only sort of openly pansexual wrestlers out there, and has done really a huge amount for inclusivity in like wrestling and wrestling fandom and things like that, and that's really helped. According to a lot of people in a lot of his interviews and things like that, they've sort of revealed that he's helped a lot of people in sort of accepting themselves and accepting their sexuality and things like that.
Yeah,
and done a lot of good stuff for that thing. So obviously, and in Brighton, he's very, very well accepted.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So.
Well, okay, so the interesting thing I've noticed on that front is their website, where it lists their roster. It's the championships they've got. So they've got Spike, who is the current Brighton champion. And then they've next got Cassius, who I don't know, who says the current Pride of Brighton. So is that and he's got, I don't know if it's part of like his ring attire, but it looks like he's got like a medal on a chain. Is that the championship?
That is the Pride of Brighton medal, yes.
That's interesting. That's unique in wrestling.
It's like a young gun sort of like a championship. So anyone who could the initial tournament, it was only for wrestlers of 25 years and under. Yeah. And they've got a whole. If whoever's holding that medal by a certain point will get a shot at the Riptide Brighton Championship, and then they have to like relinquish that medal, and then next person to win it in another tournament will do the same thing. So essentially, it's the number one contenders, but they have to like hold the title for a little while before they can get their title shot.
Okay, so what do you guys think of championships that are not belts, basically? So
it adds a nice little bit of variety to it. I think in terms of what they were after doing with that one, the Pride of Brighton, it sort of works.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing, just because obviously there's the King of the Ring, probably one of the most famous ways of representing a champion of some sort, without it being an actual physical belt. In AEW, they've recently had that diamond ring thing that MJF has.
It's like an homage to the Battle Bowl ring, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, that takes me back. You're right.
I think I mentioned a few weeks ago when talking about gimmicks and companies and things like that. FCW used to have the FCW 15 Championship, which is a medal as well.
Okay.
Back in the old days. But I just really like the story of this match. This was one of my favourite matches of that year, certainly of what I saw live and sort of generally from what I remembered. Simply because of the story going into it. Sexsmith wants Star to give him everything to not let up on him so he can get out of this rut he's in. So Sexsmith's been, since the start of Riptide, it's been Sexsmith versus Gervais. It's been like the big feud. Yeah. And Gervais, I think, beat him in another match or something happened recently where basically the guys that he employees in Chris Ridgway and Damon Moser were at one point aligned with Sexsmith, and they both got bought out by Gervais. So he's sort of taken those sort of very personally. And it's just been like I sort of like he's been mentally beaten by Gervais as well, and he's just trying to get back, and he's just at the moment in a losing streak rut. I'm trying to get out of that rut.
Yeah. Okay. So just to update, we've had the comment from Daniel George, his brother. His brother is Frankie T, a.k.a. the Urban Goth. He's been in a couple of matches over the past year or so. So that's someone to look out for. Daniel, we didn't know that your brother was a wrestler. We had you doing an impression of Hulk Hogan on the show last night, but that's cool.
Oh, boy, a shout out to, who was it? Was it Naveen who did the Ric Flair impression the other night?
Woo!
Oh, spectacular.
That was so good.
I loved it.
I was stunned.
Styling and profiling with the the dead ferret he was wearing on his head.
It was amazing. I couldn't believe he started that. I was like, oh my God, incredible.
Oh, is this gonna reverse it? Okay.
What should you make of Sexsmith wrestling in Ugg boots?
I hadn't paid attention to it until now, but that's fantastic. That's great. My God, on Ugg boots, are they going to be custom, or because they're going to come off his feet? He's going to slip on them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think you said that he actually.
I did a little review of the first time I saw him wrestling in Uggs, And he did a little spot where he like missed something off the top rope and jammed his leg, and I wrote in the review, so like, well, obviously it was going to happen. He's got no support. There I am. There's me clapping hugely to David Starr's left there. It's my friend Helen sitting down now, the blue hair.
Oh yeah.
Getting out of the way of the dives. There's one dive that comes later that we just could not get out of the way of, but luckily we were okay. But you'll see it later on during the Rumble matches, which is quite scary. But,
I was going to say, the audience are quite close for a Rumble sort of thing where people are getting thrown over the top.
I've been close to this. There's a place in a venue called Bush Hall in London where a place called Fight Club Pro have...
missed the dive.
The LGBT.
I thought you were going to be, Mr. Darcy. That's what I honestly thought you were going for. That.
I believe he calls that the LGBDT.
Okay.
Yeah, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So there, Fight Club Pro ran there a couple times, and literally the seats are practically next to the ring. And how these guys just get out of the ring and like fall out and still able to control themselves so they don't go any further out than they need to is quite incredible.
Yeah.
Oh.
Missed with a super kick.
There they go.
Oh, I like.
Oh, you are a few seconds behind us, I think. Just gone tumbling out and Sex Miss going for a dive. Yeah.
Oh, that lady's just moved.
Oh, it's got him. Oh,
She saw what was coming.
DDT.
Okay, I know where you are. I'll pause myself there.
Oh, Jesus. You very rarely see that way around. Sometimes you see him do a DDT from the ropes into the ring, never from the ropes out.
What I like about David Starr really well as well is that all his signature moves has got his own name for them. So that move is called the Cherry Mint DDT. I don't know why he calls it that. He just calls it that.
Interesting.
So it's but this is a point in the match where he's just beating him down so much. He's just like, he doesn't want to hurt his friend and all this sort of stuff. So it's like his Star's almost like reluctantly trying to get him up and doesn't want to, but he has to kick him in the face.
Bang.
Funny little story is that Tom, the referee, is back in this match again. He sort of was, from that bump he took in the previous match, he was sort of like acting like his left arm and shoulder was hurt the whole time. And I saw him in the interval. I went, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "With the arm." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." I saw as if to say, "I'm fine," as if I was just selling like that. And I went, "Oh, God, whatever." It was just like, "It's all right, mate. Don't you keep believing and all that sort of stuff." And then every time he saw me the rest of the show, he saw me and went, just took the piss out of me. I don't believe in it. I was like, all right, so I believed you're that good. You convinced me and you're selling.
That's great.
Well done, you. In case you are wondering, yes, there is a drum kit on the stage. They had like a bass player and a drummer by playing live music during the intervals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I also noticed they've put all the turnbuckle pads on now.
Yeah, the turnbuckles are all well now between those last two matches. So, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a purposeful thing. I found out later. But... Riptide are just like really good eggs though as well. They're the only wrestling company I know that let all their disabled entrants in first to make sure they've all got front row seats for everything. Got their things, and they really take care of their audience in terms of spacing, in terms of needs and everything like that. And these days, actually, they with their latest shows, they've even invested into like platforms to the side, so where the standing areas are. It's almost like you're at football now in the terraces where everyone's like got like racing platforms as well, so everyone can sort of see everything. Off.
Oh, what a clothesline!
Hilarious.
Oh, you would not want to receive that.
Yeah, sounds pretty snug with his lariats.
What is the tattoo Star's got on his leg?
I actually have no idea what it means. I think it's a flag of some kind. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't recognise it.
No, I'm not sure.
Oh, was that the kiss of death he just gave him?
I think it was, yeah, I always say I'm sorry, I love you sort of thing.
Doesn't that add more insult to things though? Oh, what?
Yeah, I think that's
probably
what. Oh, it's back up.
Oh, a little bit of mistiming, like 3.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, 3 kicks.
But he's knackered, bless him.
No. It was interesting because it was like Star anticipated it.
Yeah,
and then he kind of walked into it, but he missed the next one. Is that
Heartbuster? No.
And a kick out.
Oh,
more drama. And another. Oh, everyone's getting right behind Sexsmith now.
I think David should pause for our feeds for 5 seconds so we can catch up with Sam.
What? Am I behind you guys?
After the match is finished.
Am I in front of you guys?
I think me and you are okay, and I think Sam's just a couple of seconds behind us. But we'll do it at the end of this match.
Yeah.
It's almost getting to the point now where Star looks like he's just getting fed up with his friend now.
Yeah. He's getting frustrated that you can't put it away.
I like that every chant seems to have a swear word in it somewhere.
Yeah. So, my friend Neil went to see Progress at Wembley Stadium a few years ago, later in this year actually, and he was not a massive fan of all the swearing chants. It was just like, oh, that's a little bit.
It's a little bit of a thing with the British crowds, though, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate in a sense, just because it could be something that stops British wrestling, it holds British wrestling back. Because I think everyone's in the rhythm now of we can have our video on demand shows just as we're watching this. Oh, destroy!
Watch out! Ah!
Oh, I might be ahead of you guys. Oh, he's got the. Look at that! That's a really good use of grabbing the ropes.
You're like a second ahead of me.
Yeah.
Got the ropes. It's anyway a cannon. That's all it is.
It is. Boom, boom, boom. But yeah, so I was saying, so they're all used to their video on demand playing this stuff, and that's fine. But imagine if, do you remember a couple of years back they brought back World of Sport?
Oh. Sorry, go on.
They brought back World of Sport Wrestling a couple of years ago, and it only lasted one season, one series of it, and that's all they wrote.
Ah, yeah.
Hans Stanson to the back. Named the Hans Stanson because it's the Stan Hansen lariat, but Stan Hansen used to throw it with the left rather than the right, so it was the Hans Stanson.
Yeah. But yeah, so
I think that might have been more to do with the ITV presentation of it, though. I think it was quite odd in the way they edited it and made it like every other ITV show, the way credits at the end, all that sort of stuff. Just
credits at the end of wrestling.
Cut any violent moments, any moment where there's something like happens on the outside or a chair is involved, things like that. They cut to the audience, cut back again. And it's just like, oh, I didn't hate World of Sport at all by any means, but I wasn't a fan of the presentation at all.
What a choice of theme music for David Starr.
Mm-hmm. But that's as I say, that was my favourite match one of my favourite matches of that year. Brilliant.
Well, this match just here.
Yeah, that one just watched.
Oh, yeah, it's a good
really,
match.
Really good fun. The story of it, just being an inside, a one story sort of match and such like, I thought was really fun. Right, so I suggest, David, if we pause the moment the next graphic comes up for the next match.
Yeah.
And then Sam, when you get to that graphic, you tell us and we'll unpause.
Okay. So
we
Sam,
can sort of get on the same bit.
This time.
So I'll have my thing on
okay. Oh God, I'm nervous. I'm nervous, guys.
This is one of 2 intervals we had in this show. Not used to having a 2 interval show, but I had. It's interesting to see, but.
Okay.
Graphics coming up, I believe. All right, there we are. So I've got Grizzled Young Veterans on the screen at the minute.
Oh, cool.
Sam, when you get there, tell us.
I'm on Grizzled Young Veterans now.
Okay, I'll start there.
I think, Sam, you've leapt ahead of us.
Team Whiteball from now on.
Yeah. Oh, you have, yeah. Oh, as in the graphic?
Yeah. So
Sam, you pause for 1 second, then start again. And then unpause.
Okay, I'm seeing the guys with the belt. The ref's got
the belt. So this is a tag title match, but this is not for Riptide's tag titles, so they don't have any. So this is for the Attack Pro Wrestling tag titles.
Okay.
Attack Pro Wrestling. It's mostly based in Wales, and it's like a collaborative effort of a lot of wrestlers like Mark Andrews, Pete Dunne, Chris Brooks, all those sort of guys.
Okay, hang on. There's something really important I've just noticed on there. This almost is like a show-stopping revelation. I'm on their roster page, and it says Dave Benson Phillips.
Yep.
What?
Dave Benson Phillips has wrestled a tag team match for Riptide and has been in the corner of another tag match at their open air theatre show that they did last year on Bank Holiday Monday in August last year.
That's amazing.
I got a picture with him.
You got a picture with Dave Benson Phillips?
Yeah. He was there. He was loving it. Probably he's had some sort of wrestling experience beforehand, but
get your own back.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
There is a match that happened at Riptide in which the opponents did get gunged.
Love it.
So yeah.
Oh my god, I love Dave Benson Phillips.
So this match, Grizzled Young Veterans challenging for the Attack Pro Wrestling Tag Titles against Team White Wolf. So Grizzled Young Veterans, Zach Gibson and James Drake, who people know from NXT at the moment, I dare say. Well, maybe not at the moment. It'll be a few weeks since I've been over there, obviously. But
yeah.
And Team White Wolf are from Spain. They are self-taught wrestlers. Spain doesn't really have a lot of training schools. They pretty much taught themselves. And their White Wolf is the promotion that's over there called White Wolf Wrestling. And in the ring at the moment is Carlos Romo, or what his name is now. I think at this point he would have been Adam Chase, but he's now known as Carlos Romo.
Okay.
And on the apron is A-Kid.
Oh, I've seen A-Kid before.
Yep, he's on NXT UK at the moment as well. Very good technical wrestler. And as I say, this is for Attack Pro Wrestling's tag titles, but I think they were part of a match on the show before this, like a four-corner tag team match, but neither team won or lost, so they've been put together in this one.
Yeah.
I don't remember if either of you ever watched like WCPW when it was quite prevalent on YouTube, but the A-Kid was like part of like the I think there was a Spanish division for their World Cup tournament they were doing.
Okay.
Like, they were doing stages of it. They were doing there's a British stage, a American stage, and a rest of Europe stage. I think A-Kid might have been part of it because I think it was one of the ones where it's like people didn't necessarily know who he was and sort of made a bit of inroads for himself in that. He's got a Dave Meltzer 5-star rated match against Zack Sabre Jr.
Wow, Zack Sabre Jr. is great.
Yeah. But for a guy that's like self-taught from Barcelona and a few years in to have a 5-star match rating from Dave Meltzer is quite huge. And I think that is on White Wolf's YouTube channel, so that's free to people to watch anywhere they want.
Okay. Zack Sabre Jr. Was born in the Isle of Sheppey, which means he is the only thing to come from the Isle of Sheppey. It is literally a wasteland.
Yep, I've been there.
Wow.
So I've stayed there. I've done panto tours where that was where my accommodation was, and it's just the worst.
I did a show there. I did a panto show there. Working men's club there. I can't remember much about the show, but yeah, we drove over the bridge to get to the Isle of Sheppey. You're like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, it's where civilization goes to die.
I can think of worse places, to be fair, but
I
won't name them for fear of anyone watching or listening that's from those places. I love this bit of the veterans do this, where they try and set up something and they can get encountered and they're like, oh no, change it around.
Oh, big drop kick.
Oh, you're ahead of us again. Okay.
Yeah, I said he was. I said that because he's kind of lapped us.
So Sam, if you pause for like 2 seconds, and we might be able to be with you.
Yeah, I just did that. So another drop kick there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now he's rolled out of the ring as James Drake.
Okay, we're on it.
Okay, I'm still a second behind, I think.
We're near enough.
This must be thrilling for anyone listening, just us trying to get synchronised.
I'm about to say this is the audio form of it, but yeah, I can be watching along. Hopefully they can do that.
So yeah, okay. So let's keep our audio listeners in mind. Let's fill them with fun facts and trivia of what we're seeing and what's happening along the way. So okay, he's just dive into the ring.
in case anyone didn't hear that, there's a certain section of fans who decided to sing "The Whole World in His Hands" as Zach Gibson, but really emphasised the world part in terms of a Liverpool accent. So that the whole world in his hands. Chants that go for these two, say Gibson obviously gets a lot of football chants because he's very much Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's a Liverpool sort of thing. So a lot of people will say, "What do you think of Gibson? Shit. What do you think of shit Gibson?" Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Same old Scouts is always cheating. This is going now.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. If what happens if you've put on a show like this and your audience starts singing a copyrighted song?
Oh, I think it's all right when it's sort of sung. I think generally, it's all right, 'cause a lot of these things are all like from songs anyway, aren't they? It's all very like football sort of related stuff. So
yeah, plus you can't control a crowd, can you?
Yeah.
I know, but like, there must be a way to exploit this. I was just thinking, if I wanted like some modern music in it, I'd just hire the audience to sing it.
And James Drake has his usual chant. He gets his it's the same tune, "The Whole World in His Hands," but they change it to "He's got his own face on his ass."
He's got his own face.
So you can see there, prime view there of his own face on his ass, right there.
He is, although it kind of looks like Bray Wyatt.
A bit.
Ironic, considering the
song,
tune of the music is he's got the whole word in his hands.
Yeah, so James Drake, apparently he was at a progress show that William Regal was in attendance at, watching sort of scouting talent, and or at a show that James Drake was part of. And apparently he saw him earlier in the day with his hair sort of dried coming out of the shower. And before he used to like wet his hair before he came down. So that's sort of like the greasy sort of wet look on his head. But Regal said to him, "Don't do that. Go out and wrestle with your hair like dry out like that." And he has done ever since. So that's William Regal giving him a little bit of hair direction.
Love it. Do you know what? If you're someone like William Regal, you could give like a young wrestler any advice, and they'd be like, "Shit, I'd better do that."
Yeah,
you know,
get into him.
Do you remember that time when William Regal was like full frontal naked on like Raw or pay-per-view? I forget.
He was doing a towel slip or something like that on a pay-per-view.
Now, was that intended or what the hell?
I don't think it was.
I do not remember this.
Oh, you need.
It was literally a blinking and miss it sort of situation, and it was like everything like meant to happen, as I say. But
I remember a lot of times when Vince McMahon would get his rear end out, but that's about as far as it got.
Yeah.
So here's some fun matches that Riptide have put on in the past. As I say, they've had Session with Martina and David Benson Phillips against the Anti-Fun Police.
Yeah.
They've had 6-person tag, Colt Cabana, Candice LeRae and Joey Ryan against British Strong Style.
Oh, what a match.
That was from their second ever show. What else have they had? They've had... So a lot of intergender matches. They had Aussie Open, we saw at the OTT show. They took on what was supposed to be Chris Brooks and Kid Lycos CCK, but they did their Kid Lycos, who was like just like a masked wolf sort of character. He was injured, so they auditioned a bunch of what they said were people to come along and audition to be Kid Lycos for that match. So we got a bunch of guys that were all in sort of old Lycos style masks, and the last guy they picked out was in the mask, but blatantly also in his gear was Pete Dunne, and they sort of auditioned him as they went along. And so then they weren't going to pick Pete Dunne until they picked somebody else to do it, until he unmasked and hit him with the bitter end. And they went, "You're my tag team partner. Let's go."
Or as Mauro Ranallo would say, a malfunction at the junction.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. What's he going for? Oh, lovely combination.
Very sweaty.
The Spanish team have had to part ways, unfortunately, because A-Kid is now written to NXT UK, so he doesn't get quite as much around to as many companies as Carlos Romo can do. Because I think that to be that is a hell of a move.
What was that?
Oh,
as this combo, boom, and a leg sweep at the same time.
Good save from Zach Gibson.
I think when you're in NXT like UK signed, you've got to have you can work anywhere you want as long as they have got like I think a certain amount of emergency services there or something like that, or paramedics and things like that. They've got to have a certain level on those shows, which all wrestling shows should do, but some just don't, unfortunately. But
oh, that looked painful.
Boom.
Oh.
It's all action this match, isn't it?
Yeah.
This sequence of this.
I always think that some of the best matches are high flyers versus hard hitters.
Well, they complement each other, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's when you've got like the high. Just that, they've got the high flyers against certain people. You've got it's how good a base you are as well. Like Gibson is a really good base for like the high flyers as well because it's so big and stocky and can manoeuvre people around. And Pete Dunne's probably like one of the best bases out there. Stuff that he can make a guy do for him, like and make him look good and such like. Some of that stuff I've seen him do. I'm not the biggest Pete Dunne fan in the world at all, but I appreciate how good a base he can be for that sort of stuff. Will Ospreay's another good base as well. So whenever he's like in a match where he's doing some sort of high flying stuff, he can make the other guy do like look as good as he can do stuff as well. You know,
that's good.
Do we think Will Ospreay will ever go to WWE or AEW?
I don't think he'll go to WWE. Certainly not anytime soon. I hope not anyway. I think he's very happy and doing well enough in New Japan at the moment. So I think he's happy to do that. He'll probably be in AEW before he was over in WWE, I think.
Yeah.
Hear the good news at New Japan coming back with some shows like as of next week.
Yes.
The New Japan Cup is going to come back, so start bringing public in like bit by bit and sort of like very like closed quarters in terms of how they bring an audience in and everything like that. Everyone's got to bring their own chairs or something like that, and they're going to be sort of like told to not like be quite as loud and cheering and things like that. I think they're going to try to be sort of reasonably quiet.
I wouldn't be worried about an audience at a Japanese show. They're very different.
Yeah.
Very respectful.
Respectful, yeah.
Thing as well, I think they kind of buy more into the stories as well, don't they? So they actually want to watch rather than just like cause chaos.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Watch that Doomsday device.
Very good. Like American audiences, indie audiences in particular, have got into being part of the show.
Yeah.
Which it's not necessarily a bad thing, but just when we're talking about like social distancing and stuff like that, that's where the problem lies. The one benefit of the whole social distancing with pro wrestling crowds and stuff now is that indie shows, they'll never look like, they didn't sell out again. It'll just be like, well, social distancing, guys. So. Look at this. That isn't a lot of area outside the ring before they hit the crowd. They have to be very precise with like moonsaults like that.
So it's just.
Oh, look at it! Now, hang on, come on,
him.
Come on, referee.
Ref, come on.
Oh, there he goes. Imagine you're a referee and you're going over your spots, and it's like, oh yes, I get to do the leg kick to the arm to the right. Oh, here we go, tombstone.
Oh, great move.
Oh no.
Oh.
So
tombstone into a flapjack?
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's the,
So after putting the turnbuckle pads on, it looks like some of them are just naturally falling off.
It's actually falling off now.
Like the leaves in autumn.
Yeah.
You see James Drake do his 450 splash as a thing of beauty, but I don't know if he obviously doesn't do it here, but we didn't at that point anyway. Goes Chase, there he goes. Oh, I wonder if the Spaniard's going to do a Spanish fly.
He is indeed.
There you go.
It is one man Spanish fly, lovely.
Great finish.
And that is it.
That's it. Wow. Great match. I think that was my favourite match so far.
That was better than I remember it being, actually. I haven't seen that for a while, so I've forgotten how good that was.
Oh, I forgot the titles were on the line.
So Attack
cool.
Attack Pro Champions. And still. So yeah, so they're entirely like pretty much self-taught and sort of started the promotions from scratch over there, and it's become quite a big thing, White Wolf Wrestling.
Yeah.
And yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting stuff. Right, what's next? Oh, here we go.
Havoc.
Oh no, both
intergender, no DQ match. So a bit of a story in this one. So Ginny is one of Jimmy Havoc's students. He's anticipating her entrance right now. So he's already made his entrance, so he's waiting for her to come out. She pinned him in a 6-person tag a couple of shows ago. Then he attacked her at the next show, pissed off that he'd lost to her with his own finishing move. Then they had a match at the last show, which ended with Jimmy Havoc cheating to win and then trying to put Ginny through a table. I say trying because this table was indestructible. And it actually ended up making the angle even more aggressive and violent looking than they intended it to. She's just like a rag doll being tried to put through here. But as she's doing the old, I'm not entering from the entrance that you expect me to do, I'm entering from the back.
Oh, staple gun.
Oh, look at that. He's going to take it. What a lunatic.
And that's the start.
Yeah.
So Ginny, as I say, off.
I recognise that guy in the front.
Yeah, holding the chair.
Oh yeah, there it is.
In my Powered by Duff t-shirt.
Nice.
Who was meant to be sat next to you?
That's my friend Helen.
Oh, there she is. She just went and joined you.
She just could see. We're very good at detecting when dives are going to happen, so we can get out of the way in time. As I say, Ginny is. She's. Well, I don't know if you guys have seen her on NXT UK. She's like a fashionista character.
Yeah.
And this is sort of like the first sort of time I sort of see her going sort of like the more the hardcore sort of territory and stuff. And as you can see, Jimmy Havoc doesn't necessarily care if you're a man or a woman. He will just beat you up with sentences anyway.
Okay, but
so if you're not into intergender stuff, then it's not necessarily the easiest watch.
Okay, but in terms of this being an intergender match, how do they like? We'll see in the fullness of time, I guess, just how they like present this here. But how do they put over that this is either a fair fight or is it that she's outsmarting? Because you would naturally assume, without it trying to sound wrong, but just look at the size of them, you'd assume Jimmy's the bigger guy. It's going to be the advantage in his side.
I think it depends on the people. Sometimes
she's greater. This is awful. Come on.
I've seen some matches where the fights are quite equally matched in terms of their technical ability or their aerial ability and things like that. So they're actually, and in terms of size, they're not necessarily so outsized or outmatched in terms of that. But this one, it's a bit more difficult to sort of like, as I say, but because it's an ODQ match, you can take measures like that and use weapons.
I was going to say,
like
because
for the most part, up again, you know?
The most part, when they've had intergender wrestling ever seen on like WWE, WCW, TNA or whatever, you can always play the story that the female wrestler is somewhat the underdog. But
Jill's definitely the underdog in this.
But as it's becoming like more mainstream, more normalised. Obviously, the biggest example is Tessa Blanchard. I believe still the Impact World Champion. But I think there's some announcement either's just happened or is about to happen regarding that.
I didn't hear what the announcement was. I don't know.
No, I didn't hear. I heard there was going to be an announcement. I'll see if I can source it just whilst we're talking. But whilst they're putting over that it's more of a normalised thing, you can't continually play the storyline that it's like an underdog story just because it'll grow tired.
Yeah, I agree. Reading, I think it was Eli Drake in Impact. He was very much against the idea of being involved in an intergender match, just because he's such a big guy. No one could believe that a woman half his size could beat him. And he is. I don't know. I don't really know a lot about Eli Drake, but I know that he is a very muscular guy.
I remember those.
Drake.
I remember those comments. Yeah, I sort of angered a few people about it, but I think I think those sort of things are valid. That's a guy I know called Joe, who's a big time wrestling fan. He doesn't like the idea of seeing men beating women up in a competitive match like this, which is fair enough. I can suspend my disbelief with stuff like this because I know that these guys obviously they're putting on a show.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I completely understand why this would be uncomfortable viewing for people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember if you guys remember. You won't remember this, Sam. I don't know, but maybe you might remember. Remember when Ruby Wax was doing a series of documentaries on BBC One, and there was one she did on wrestling.
I don't remember it.
It sort of ended with a man versus woman hardcore match, and they were both bloodied and all this sort of stuff. To the point where they turned cameras off and just went, "We can't film anymore. This is just horrible."
Wow.
Sort of stuff. Always fun spot with the staple gun. Oh. The table. So seeing someone go through a table right in front of you is quite it's quite thrilling in a way, you know?
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I've seen that before as well. Oh, he is still playing the left arm thing, isn't he? The referee.
Yeah. He was saying it most of the night, but that's why I was concerned about him. Left, I was like, "You're right. Should you be refereeing? There's another guy who can do it for you, surely."
He fooled you.
Yeah. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Fool with you. Fool with we fooled again.
It's like the boy who cried wolf now. You'll never believe that he's injured.
Little quote there for the Michael Moore fans.
It's the most hard-hitting intergender match I've ever seen before. Which is weird, because whenever I saw Ginny on NXT UK, I always thought that she looked a bit flimsy.
Oh.
So, let's try give you another.
See, something like this, especially what we've seen recently with the WWF AEW, where we can now hear wrestlers in the ring talking. It's like obviously this isn't the situation, but it's not like a ginormous crowd like you'd normally get. Being able to hear wrestlers talk to each other and talk smack and insult and stuff, and talk down to their opponents, does add something to wrestling that we generally don't get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so for anyone seeing this or not seeing it, Jimmy's just got out thumbtacks. So
we're in Britain, mate.
Push pins. What do you call them?
Cheese grater again.
Oh, cheese grater to the crotch.
Okay, Dave. What do you call the thumbtacks?
Oh, drawing pins.
Drawing pins.
Another in his arse.
Or push pins.
So just sat down.
And again.
It always makes me wince a bit seeing someone go through drawing pins because I've done it before.
Yeah, I've stood on one and I hated it.
Yeah.
I
did a show once where I laid on a bench of drawing pins and that hurt.
I was about to say something, but I don't know whether or not he does it in this matchup. So I'll save my comment for later.
Is it in the mouth?
Oh, head first.
Head first. Yeah.
Is it going to be him putting them in people's mouths and taping it up?
I don't think he takes them up. No, I don't know that.
I saw that in AEW.
I remember the Young Bucks did that in a match with Candice LeRae. It was quite horrendous. They did that. No, remember the famous match at PWG with the Young Bucks? So one of them put drawing pins, they super glued them to the bottom of a boot. They put the boot on and super kick Candice LeRae with that boot. It was really horrendous. She got really got a lot of holes in her face on that one.
God.
Okay, so just to give the update on Tessa Blanchard as the Impact World Champion. So I've got two reports here I found. The first one is from ProWrestling.com, which says that they announced that she would be returning to defend her World Championship on July 18th at Slammiversary. Yeah. Which is interesting, because obviously Slammiversary I thought was traditionally in June, but maybe I'm wrong. But it'll be a fatal five-way against Michael Elgin, Eddie Edwards, Ace Austin, and Trey Miguel. But I think this is some sort of planned bait and switch, because when you go onto Ringside News, it says Tessa Blanchard and Impact Wrestling having major problems. And it says that they made a big announcement about Slammiversary, but Blanchard might not be okay with it.
Yeah, I think she's stuck in Mexico, I think. It's the whole sort of deal, I think, at the moment. She's been stuck there and isn't really willing to travel with the whole COVID situation. So, so I think that's the main sort of thing. And but
it also says here, it was noted that she was asked to send in promos for the recent set of tapings, and she did not send anything. So this is going to be interesting.
Ooh, pushing them into his head.
Because the thing which I think is going to be the biggest shame out of that situation is just that obviously it was kind of making history for her to be a world heavyweight champion in the men's division. And if it's just going to result, the end of the story for this first ever reign of that nature is that she's stripped of the championship, that's a shame.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I've seen some headlines that Charlotte might be going for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Really?
For one of them.
I don't
know if that's true or not.
I've heard things to the same effect. And if they're going to do that with anyone, it would be Charlotte.
Yeah, of course.
Not that there aren't others that they could feasibly do it with. I don't think Becky Lynch would have been necessarily the right fit for that as much as Charlotte.
No.
But if Ronda Rousey came back, you could see them doing it with her.
Yeah, I think so.
And then obviously someone, even though
it's like Shayna Baszler, maybe. As well.
Shayna Baszler, even someone like Nia Jax, who's just got the biggest stature. Although she
after their very brief interaction, that Money in the Bank match, I want Baszler versus Mysterio.
Do you know what? I wasn't happy with that.
Oh, watch out!
Oh, Giddy! Oh, you poor cow!
I watch out. That's over yet. Boom!
Oh, Death Valley.
And through a table.
And yeah,
that's it. Surely.
And yet.
No, he's not going for the cover.
No, not going for the cover. I thought he was going for the cover. Rainmaker. The acid Rainmaker, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, and she kicks out.
Yeah.
So much drama. Oh. That back must be in bits.
Joe, it's a shame with Jimmy Havoc in AEW because it felt like he was in a higher position on the card when it first started. But he feels like he's kind of floating, really at the moment.
Yeah,
any direction.
It shows the sound where it's sort of like it's unfortunate when he's sort of really only known for these sort of matches with a lot of people, especially in the States. I think they're mostly known for this stuff. I've seen him have some really, good regular matchups before, but he's not the prime example of the most incredible wrestler in the entire world. But he's good at these sort of style things, and that maybe holds him back a little bit in terms of what they can do. But obviously, being that him and Kip Sabian are in the States with AEW, they're probably the most active British wrestlers in the world at the moment. So, so on TV
Drake
quite regularly.
Maverick.
Yes, and Drake Maverick, yeah.
What do you think of Drake Maverick now getting it so that he will remain with WWE?
Well, with the beauty of oh, sorry, carry on, Dave.
I was going to say that the fact that they're using an actual real life firing and possibly having that as an angle, I think it's always a little bit.
Okay, so here's the conspiracy theory.
This boy, I was going on the thing right now. He's just taking his shoes and socks off
to put his feet into the drawing pins.
Yeah. That's awful. Okay, but any belief in the conspiracy theory that they never intended for him to go?
I really hope that's not the case, but knowing WWE, sometimes that's the way they work. Sometimes I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
If you're releasing 20, 30 guys at once, oh my god, he just about missed it, and I'm not sure that the idea was that he was missing it, but he did just about miss it. But yeah, if you're releasing 20, 30 guys, and you get a sympathetic character, which Drake Maverick is, whole 24/7 stuff, consummate his marriage and all this sort of thing. He's a little guy. he then does this impassioned, instantly the day of his release, this impassioned speech where he's in tears, and then for there to be the happy ending on it does give an opportunity.
Oh! Jesus Christ!
That's awful.
Yeah, that's why I stopped myself from saying, because I couldn't remember if he did the feet spot in this.
Yeah.
Oh!
Rainmaker.
He went barefoot, double stomp, missed it, straight into the drawing pins.
Shinny gets her revenge.
Yeah.
Christ. Oh, it was very good.
But,
yeah, the thing is, with the beauty of hindsight, you kind of think to yourself, I can't believe I didn't see it coming. They made such a big deal out of him over all of the other wrestlers who were released.
Yeah.
He made the impassioned video. It was used as part of the storyline in the Cruiserweight tournament as well. How did I not see that they were going to give him another contract?
I'd like to think that Drake sort of like basically did that as a last effort to sort of like to get them to change their mind. Because he is such a clever mind. I told my people that are in the business that know him as well. Just like he's just one of the cleverest sort of people in wrestling, and just like using the whole firing as a way of not only like using that video to not only sort of like say goodbye, but also like promote the matches he had coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time, that's probably part of the reason.
There is precedent which can show that sometimes real life can become reality. Because if you think back many years ago when there was the Matt Hardy, Lita Edge controversy, and Matt Hardy was released, Matt Hardy went public with it. The audience then, like, obviously he couldn't go on social media the same as exists today, but the internet knew about it. The internet didn't let WWE forget Matt Hardy. They had no choice but to bring him back.
Yeah, it's just a shame that the other umpteen guys and girls that got released couldn't do the same.
Yeah.
And just at this time when WWE were going to have like record profits and everything like that as well, which I've heard so many times that they've had, that it just boggles the mind really. Oh, here we go. It's the Rumble time. It's Rumble time.
Oh wow.
Oh, cool.
We haven't got that tag match I thought we had isn't on the VOD. It must have been a live only.
I know this guy.
So Curtis Chapman, was he in the match with you?
No, he wasn't in the match with me, but he was often the referee when they came to the part that I worked in.
Yeah, he's really a hot character at the minute. He calls himself Mad Kurt at the moment.
Yeah.
And he's just this. So at this point, he's in Revolution Pro, which is like where Portsmouth School Wrestling's sort of like training school for them. He's just this like the contender. He's like the super contender. He's just like the plain wrestler, no sort of personality. And then just sort of like this overnight, he became Mad Kurt, and his Riptide was sort of really instrumental in that. So this is the same time where he's boring Curtis Chapman elsewhere, but here he is the keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
So hence the way he's got a keyboard with him and he's hitting people with it and all that sort of stuff. But he's a keyboard warrior. He's completely delusional. He thinks he's like the big man on campus. Or a keyboard wanker, as the crowd are calling him now. So yeah, he's number one in the Rumble match.
How many people are in the Rumble?
It's 30 Rumble. It's a 30-person match. It's gender. Half the field had been announced previously, and the other half were all surprises. And there'll be a few twists and turns as we go along.
He's a really nice guy, Curtis Chapman. I really liked him.
This was a show where I completely turned. Go on.
There was this one moment we had where he was the referee, and the heel ran out of the ring, and the face chased after him. And then I mentioned about Benny Hill, and he just looked over at me and went, "Play it, play it." So I ended up playing Benny Hill while the heel was running away from the face all the way around the board we had.
It's good.
I never heard him deliver a promo though, so this is different.
Yeah, you need to get on the Mad Kurt stuff. As I say, he went a bit crazy with Mad Kurt. He challenged at one of the sort of Revolution Pro shows from North Hall last year. He wanted to face Minoru Suzuki. Okay. The most legitimately like hard nut wrestler in the world. Everyone was like, "This is absolutely crazy."
Oh, who's coming out now?
So coming out to the I've forgotten what the band are called now. What are they called?
I'm guessing it's someone Irish based on the colour of the lights.
It is, yes. It is Rhea O'Reilly.
Oh, okay.
I believe. I forgot they're called. What are they called?
Can't remember.
It's, what is that song called? Yeah, one of my favourite entrance music is this one. I really like this.
Just from the look of this lady, she looks like the sort of person who's really nice, but is also a total badass.
Yeah, that's exactly what she is. She's nice people. She's like a charity worker for her job.
Really?
Job. But yeah, she's like a very tough girl. Wouldn't mess with her.
I love that.
Yeah, the music's. I'm shipping up to Boston by the Dropkick Murphys.
I was going to say Dropkick Murphys. I don't know why I didn't.
Really good track. That's like essentially number one and number two. So the winner of the Rumble, basically, it doesn't get like a title match or title shot or title or anything like that. They just get put into the Brighton Championship tournament. So even though Spike Travay like won a one-on-one match, they have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
The winner of the Rumble does as well. So some of these competitors are getting their second and last chance into that tournament in this match as well. So they've got.
Do you know what? That's how All Elite Wrestling decided their first world champion. Hangman Page won a casino battle royale, and Jericho defeated Kenny Omega in a one-on-one.
Yep.
Which is actually interesting because originally for that pay-per-view a year ago, they had announced Hangman versus Pac. So it seems like they were almost like semi-finals, but then they had to change it when Pac wouldn't leave Dragon Gate, was he in?
Something to do with Dragon Gate, and I think there might have been behind the scenes an issue with his visa as well.
Oh, okay.
There was they ran an angle actually. They did the Adam Page Pac match over here for a company called WrestleGate. There was like a surprise match.
I saw the match, yeah.
And they said on that one, I'm not going to AEW. I lost the match, so I lost the match by DQ and messed the Hangman up, and that's why Hangman ended up in that Battle Royal. I believe it might have been visa issues because I think like with visas, you've got to like a lot of it depending on your last company you worked for, and obviously with who Pac wrestled for beforehand, they may have not been completely helpful in getting him a visa for another company.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll leave it to it for a moment, Jens. I'll quickly go for a whiz.
You enjoy yourself, mate. Let us know if anything changes. He didn't hear any of that.
Yeah. Okay, guys. if don't switch. Warn me if you're going to switch your cameras off because all of the screens that I've got messed up this week would suddenly go haywire.
Right. Oh, there's another person.
Okay. Yeah. Someone else coming out. So what is that? Like a 1 minute interval? 90 seconds?
Something like that. Maybe 90 seconds.
Yeah.
James Castle, not one I've heard of
James
before.
Castle. No.
Love the Mohawk.
Yeah.
I really thought he was going to come straight in and just clothesline her over the top.
I thought she was going to just back body drop him straight over the top. A little bit of a Santino moment.
Oh, he looks like the sort of person, a bit like Jimmy Havoc. He just goes for the death matches because they cause so much pain.
Yeah.
I'm making a lot of
I think he's got a good look for a wrestler.
What's that one?
I think he's got a good look for a wrestler, just because, obviously out of like the guys in the ring. What was the name? So you knew the other guy. What's his name?
Curtis Chapman.
Yeah. So Chapman, obviously, he's. I think he's obviously quite young, but he is incredibly thin. And so this guy coming in, I've instantly forgot his name. He looks, especially
James
in the Mohawk Castle, right? His look, his attire, the tattoos, everything. He looks like a tough guy.
Yeah. You don't want to go on his wrong side in a bar.
What's he doing?
He's sorting his hair out, isn't he?
Yeah, but cameras don't work that way unless they've got the screen flipped open for him to see himself.
I might have told Cameron to flip it around.
Yeah.
It's all being done on iPhone, and he just switched to selfie view.
Yeah, maybe.
We know this guy.
Super bad.
Oh, there we
Boom.
go.
So at this point, Kip Sabian's formed a tag team, like an odd couple tag team with a guy called Amir Jordan, who I think is in the Rumble match later.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's
quite weird seeing him without his fiance.
Probably still with Jimmy Havoc at this stage. Not Jimmy Havoc, Joey Janela. I don't want to be casting aspersions that she's been with Thingy.
So it's a little bit like just making sure his mohawk was sort of like put back up again a little bit before you hit him. Bits like that. It's always fun with Kip. First time I saw Kip Sabian, he won a match against Will Ospreay in a small show.
Wow.
Last time. So it's all those sort of things where you go, okay, this guy's good. He's going to be something. And I'm glad he was.
Kip Sabian, obviously he's currently with All Elite Wrestling. Where do we see his future going? Is he going to... I don't currently see that he's going to rise to the main event in AEW. Because I feel like he's just going to be someone... My fear for him is, and he might just be enjoying AEW. You don't know what the environment is like with AEW just to work there. But there are some guys, even a little bit with Joey Janela, where you get a little sense that it's like, well, I'm just kind of here. And there isn't a spot for everyone to be in the main event.
Yeah, I can definitely see what you mean. He's sort of like a bit like Dolph Ziggler, who he's been in the main event scene once, but never really made it. Never really was seen as someone who would stay there forever.
Yeah.
So Elijah's. Oh, right, okay. So Chapman just whacked Elijah across the head with the keyboard.
But yeah, just
at this point, there are keys springing everywhere in the ring, which is going to be really difficult for everyone else to
bump on.
Wrestle in.
Yeah.
It's broken the whole thing over. So Elijah, as I say, is a Welsh wrestler. And that just said that was one of the crucifix driver who's a bomb. Well, sort of like, sometimes it can look really a bit hokey. I think that move sometimes because essentially you're being held by your opponent, yet somehow you're pulling them down. And I was thinking, in terms of the laws of physics, I don't understand how that works.
Yeah.
Right now, is this who I think it is? Right.
2 meters.
Yes, it is. Okay.
2
meter Peter. Paddy Crackdown. He is a security guard. That I think they might do. I think I'm right. They do a little. Here we are. We're having a flashback.
We have a flashback in the middle of a Royal Rumble.
Yep, the flashback in the middle of the Rumble, so you can see the. So Chapman opened up a beer and sipped a beer. They threw him out for underage drinking. And this has basically been the story. Every time Chapman's been up to something, 2 meter Peter has been there to throw him out of the ring and throw him out of the building. And now he's in the Rumble. He's not a wrestler by any stretch of the imagination, as you can probably tell.
Oh, he's out.
And he's out already. There we go.
Is he just going to step over the top? Someone's going to take him.
No, he's in there to wrestle. Oh, there we go.
If he's not a wrestler, they're not going to leave him long.
He's not a wrestler. He was working security, and they found a nice sort of spot for him to do in the show.
He's bigger than any of them, though.
I know.
I mean, he doesn't look like the toughest guy, but
he's actually.
He is bigger than most of them.
It's quite tough. The fact that he's standing on his feet is like, all right, fine, I'm going to swap this up.
What's happening with the apron there?
Don't know.
Oh,
that's what's happening.
Oh, I see. Someone else?
Coming in.
Entrant number 7.
Okay, so we've just had a flashback, but I'm going to ask, what other than the flashback, what really makes this cinematic pro wrestling?
Oh, I mean, it's the lighting, the filter of it, and everything. So White Wolf guy back in again. It's the fact that it's sort of like the graphics are between each bit, the freeze frames, the little nods like that. It's just the way it's filmed. If you compare this to like other indie companies, it's just so much better.
Okay, it's just because
better lit, better filmed, and everything.
Cinematic wrestling is a growing term at the moment, which this wouldn't be an episode of Superkick Mania nowadays if I don't bring up the Firefly Funhouse match. But
yeah, it's not so much in that sort of style. So,
but yeah, the Broken Universe,
respect, maybe.
Boneyard match, this kind of stuff. That's what people, when they say cinematic stuff. So I was expecting a bit more. So the Flash, I'd sort of even forgotten it until we saw a flashback.
Okay. Maybe I misled you with that. Was this all like before?
No. Obviously, terms can evolve.
Just as a thing. But I mean, there was a compilation stream going on Independent Wrestling .tv yesterday, which was a Black Lives Matter compilation.
With Eminem.
Yeah.
And they had a match from Riptide on there. I think a lot of wrestlers were tweeting like, "What is this promotion? How is it? The filming is amazing."
Mm.
On there, they were like standing out as from the rest of the matches that have been compiled for the rest of the stream. So it's Connor Mills.
Gosh, this guy. Do you remember Jay and Silent Bob?
Yeah, I watched
like
Mallrats on Netflix yesterday.
Bob. Oh, not Silent Bob. Jay. He looks like Jay.
Jay. Yeah.
Silent Bob's what's his name? Kevin Smith.
I watched Mallrats on Netflix yesterday.
Oh, amazing.
Turned it off after 50 minutes. I thought it was rubbish.
Really? I remember I liked it back in the day.
Thing.
I haven't seen it in, 15 years.
I heard a lot of references that I now get. And I'm like, okay, this is where that comes from.
Wait a minute. Actually, I say that. I'm not even sure if I've seen Mallrats. I've seen Dogma.
Dogma, yeah.
There's a few films with these characters in. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Jay and Bob, they were in Mallrats. Are they in Chasing Amy as well? I'm not sure. There goes Rhea.
Ah.
She's gone.
But yeah, I just found it really annoying most of the time. I wasn't really sure what was going on, but it was just a bit. I don't know. I think the humour's a little bit dated, isn't it? I think we may have our first hoss of the match here.
Okay.
Big T Justice, legitimate 7 foot.
Wow. Well, he's my pick to win. Just
not
because.
Wrestling hyperbole is legitimately 7. He's one of the biggest Brit wrestlers. He's not a particularly brilliant wrestler, but his size really does help him in that essence, because everyone just bumps around him,
It's like Big E on steroids.
Yeah.
But see, like here is the thing, and I've said this before. When you get a guy that is just ginormous, like I believe look at that. That's nothing to him. He could do this with all of them.
Mm-hmm. Kip's just there going, I'm not moving, I'm staying here. Yes,
it's a very Jerry Lawler thing he's doing.
Mm.
All on the apron.
Why would you run in if two others have run in and wait, are the other two eliminated?
Yeah.
I like those guys.
Oh, there's another one gone.
Oh, there goes Chase. Yeah, he's gone. Connor Mills, mistake, mate, mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not doing anything. Oh, big kick. And one that
Connor Mills is a very good wrestler, actually. If you see him like just a one-on-one match and things like that, he's very, very good. But just but for the purposes of this, just to do that, so he wiped everybody out pretty much, apart from the man under the apron.
So what's this guy called?
Big T Justice.
Big T Justice.
Big T Justice. I like him.
Yeah.
There needs to be more big guys in wrestling, I think.
He's under the apron thinking that he can't see him.
Basically.
Or under the...
we're trying, we can't see him. Oh, I think this is
Amir Jordan.
Oh yeah, Amir Jordan, yes. So this is who he's Kip Sabian's teaming up with in Riptide.
The Bangra bad boy.
And he's sort of like, he likes to have fun, whereas Sabian likes to take things more seriously. But Amir's all about the fun. He's one of the funniest wrestlers ever. He's a Zood's personality, this guy. And I think we might have a moment coming up that you guys might recognise from other times.
Okay, let's see if we can spot it, Sam.
Oh, you'll be able to spot it, all right. I have no doubt.
He's not going to crash through a wall, is he?
No Shockmasters.
Now he's whispering to Big T.
If it was weird,
all,
because Big T, wasn't that also the name of Ahmed Johnson in WCW?
It was, yes. And,
I mean, I would have chosen a new name. I wouldn't have tried to emulate that. Harlem Heat 2000. Harlem Heat 2000?
Yeah.
I forgot they were
Big T and Stevie Ray.
I remember LOD 2000, but... What's going on? Wait a minute.
So I put one of his waistcoats on, but he can't. One of them won't fit on Big T, so he put 2 of them on.
Is this going to be the Rikishi Too Cool? That he's going to get them to dance all together, and then he's going to throw them both out?
I couldn't possibly say.
Here we go. This has clearly been more than a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it is literally... They're actually playing the WWE theme.
Yeah, they should do it. 2, 3, go!
I love it.
Brilliant.
Little homage to the...
I love that. That was one of my favourite moments in a Royal Rumble when that happened.
Yeah.
What's Big T going to do at some point?
What's he got?
He can do it.
I'd love it if he tried and fell on his arse.
Oh, there we go.
Not quite the same, but a nice take on it.
There we go, Hey.
Oh man, these guys are...
Yeah, it's definitely been over the time limit than it should have been in, but yeah, that's don't worry about that. And boom!
Oh, fair play, fair play.
Joe, it's interesting with Royal Rumbles. When it was the Royal Rumble earlier this year's Royal Rumble, I was in Italy at the time, and I watched it on the network live, and it was like middle of the night or whatever. But I was literally timing the intervals in between wrestlers come in, and none of them were exact. They were all varied time-wise.
Oh.
Okay, so this is a debuting pair for Riptide.
Well, they're coming out together.
So Maura Chavez is on the microphone, and the actual entrant is on the right, Ryan Hendricks. So they are militant vegans.
Militant vegans.
Yeah, kale them all.
I like it.
I mentioned them earlier, the vegan hot dogs on the stand, so very nice.
Russian or something, or Eastern European of some description?
I think he's Portuguese, if I remember correctly.
So no.
I think, I'm not sure.
Just a little bit, not quite.
Yeah. I said Eastern European. He's actually very much Western European.
Yeah, as far west as you can possibly go.
Yep.
The world is not vegan. We're going to make it vegan.
Wow.
Well,
sweet.
Do you know what? This would be a great plot for a movie. I'm going to make the world vegan, like the Unabomber.
Threatening, and I think they're going to bring a weapon into the ring, which is a cucumber.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, he licked
it. Which is in his trunk. And I think something went wrong here. It broke before he even hit him.
Yes. Oh.
A lot of weapons in this rumble.
Do you know what? I've been hit with
keyboards,
a cucumber once. It does hurt.
Yeah, that story about the Undertaker scared of cucumbers.
It vaguely rings a bell. I know that cats are often scared of cucumbers.
Paul Bearer was talking about it in a shoot interview with Jim Cornette on the Ring of Honor series. And apparently the Undertaker just hates cucumbers.
But scared of them?
I know this music. It's one half of the Anti-Fun Police.
Oh.
And thankfully, it's the biggest
Santos
one.
Jr.
Los Federales Santos Jr.
Oh, wow. He doesn't look like a wrestler.
No, he looks like if he
doesn't.
didn't have the mask on, he'd be working in like CEX, and I don't want to be
Yeah.
mean,
Yes. This guy is literally one of the funniest people I've ever seen perform in a wrestling ring. He is so funny. He is Welsh Hispanic, so he's Mexican, but was raised in Wales, so he's still got a Welsh Spanish accent.
Fantastic.
His bloodline is Mexican, so he's a luchador.
Yep.
And he's absolutely indebted to the services of the Anti-Front Police, to his Capitan, Chief Deputy Dunn, who'll be in the match later. Whole mantra is, if nobody has fun, nobody gets hurt.
Oh. Big shot.
This is a very weird house battle.
It is.
But Santos will surprise you with some of the stuff he can do. It's even like a regular tag match. He does dives, his cartwheels. He's quite agile for his girth.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, cross body.
Wow.
It's a bit like with the Viking Raiders, isn't it? I can never remember which one's which out of Ivar and Eric, but the hairier of the two is.
Yeah, I still call him Rowan Handsome.
Yeah, exactly. But he's the bigger one of the two, and he does all like the cartwheels, the handsprings, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, time to keep it 100. TK Cooper, I believe.
Okay, so
music.
There's
a long time for the hit point for him to make his entrance on this music.
It is, yeah.
There we go.
TK Cooper.
So TK Cooper is from New Zealand. Good friends and training partner with Travis Banks from NXT.
Oh yeah.
Came in as a tag team for a while. Is a really good example of someone that Riptide really knows how to use, whereas other companies don't necessarily.
I feel like I recognise him, but I can't think where I would have seen him.
He's some other companies just sort of really just drop the ball with him, but Riptide just get it with TK, and he's a very good standing with him.
Okay, so what don't they get about him?
Well, I don't know. It's just he just works in certain companies, and Riptide's one of them. He just works here. Just this whole sort of the way it's they sort of trust him with big matches and stuff like that. And I'll just see what Santos says here. I don't know what I actually say here, but never mind. Yeah, he's part Samoan, so he's
so he headbutted him. So he's part Samoan.
Yeah, it's in New Zealand, sort of like yeah.
Oh, is he going to knock him over?
So this is I am Samoan.
Oh, what a headbutt!
There we go.
He's a very talented guy, loads of personality, and just I think there's just some things that happen like behind the scenes in some places that have sort of, I don't know, sort of where it's cost him somewhat and some things. But it was a really hot property a few years ago until he sort of returned to his visa had expired, and Progress made a really big deal of it, sort of like his exit, and they basically sorted him out his return visa, and they kept it complete secret, and he returned to the show to a massive reaction. And then about a month later, he sustained a very bad injury to his leg, and sort of like it put a lot of kibosh on his momentum. And other things happened, I believe, backstage, which I'm not going to divulge into, but it's sort of rumor and conjecture. But
Ashley Dunn.
Yeah, he's Ashley Dunn now entering. Yeah, he's good guy. He's a good guy. So some places TK just doesn't seem to hit, but Riptide does. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Ashley Dunn, no relation to Pete.
Oh, okay. Is it quite an even spread of
Is he related
men
to Kevin
and
Dunn?
women in this match?
I thought probably about 70-30, I think.
Okay.
So we've got more women coming up. in the match.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It may have been
It's
about.
only been more than one so far, hasn't it?
I'm trying to think. I'll just have a little count up to see if there's how many on the page it tells you. Yeah, it's pretty even.
Okay.
Have a look.
Ooh.
That chop would have been made so much more impactful if he'd have done the sort of somersault like people do with clothesline sometimes.
Yeah. Although he's kind of ended up upside down.
I know, maybe not quite as good as there's 5 women in the match, and the rest of them.
Okay.
They're maybe not quite as big a spread as I thought it was, but still more than some places. Oh, actually 6. Sorry, I think I missed this actually. I missed this lady. So 6, not 5.
Okay.
Sierra Loxton, the freaky princess,
Okay.
like a wrestling Elsa.
Yeah.
Really good as well. Sadly, she just announced her retirement due to a bad back injury.
Wow.
So it's sort of.
Okay, so
Wrestling taking its toll with a lot of independent wrestlers at the minute. Oof.
you bring up the idea that she's like a wrestling Elsa, and Elsa can obviously the character can freeze people. Yeah. If you were a wrestler, and you could have one magical ability, like we've seen teleportation. We've seen Kane be able to produce fire. Undertaker can produce lightning. If you could have one, and let's say genuine skill, one genuine magical ability, superhero ability, if you were a wrestler, what would you want it to be?
Well, if it wasn't John Cena's visibility ability, then you can't see him. And I would go with your man from World of Sport in the years back. What's that? The Mask. What was his name? Kendo Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Who hypnotised Steven Regal to beat up Robbie Brookside.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Oh no, the other way around. Sorry, Robbie Brookside beat up Steven Regal to win a match.
Yeah, but yeah, he could hypnotise people. That's
Drew
great.
Parker.
Oh, big super kick.
I mean,
Drew
I suppose
Parker,
Super Cena, other than the fact that he's invisible, you know, he can just he just no sells
Super Cena
everything.
anyway.
He doesn't need to sell anything.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a couple more comments worth responding to. So
Essentially, show down here because I believe at the time these two were a couple. So,
Oh, nice.
Okay, so
sorry, David, go on.
Bear 2019 on Twitch has asked us, what are your favourite wrestlers? And we'll answer that, and then they've got a second question. So, what are your favourite wrestlers, guys? Sam?
My answer to that would be watch the podcast from about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We talk about that very subject.
Yeah, I know,
Yes.
but let's be kind to our audience who wish to engage with us.
Go on, Sam, you go first.
So my favourite is The Rock, as we did a show all about The Rock a number of months ago by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sort of one of the first ones that I really watched, and his personality being the people's champion really hooked me when I was younger.
Yeah, cool. Dave, who would you say is your favourite?
Well, favourite of all time is Bret Hart, Bret Hart and Hart. Favourite at the moment, we saw him briefly earlier in this show, Cara Noir. The guy's just got a ridiculous ability, and having seen him progress over the years from like a very basic character into this, and just evolving into this character he's doing now, I just admire the guy and respect him a huge amount. I think in terms of like current wrestlers in the world at the moment, though, I really like Rey Fenix.
Oh wow, Rey Fenix!
Superb.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, Phoenix is superb. I think it should be like the headliner of just about anywhere he goes.
Yeah. Okay, so I will answer. My favourite of all time is going to be Bret Hart as well. Love Bret Hart. But if I was to choose a current favourite, I would go for the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Okay, so hang on. Bear 2019 has said he was hooking up with The Rock. What?
I don't know.
No, I wasn't. I was never hooking up with The Rock. That's a very different
It's on the screen there, guys, with a big angle happening here. So Charlie Morgan's just made her entrance, and now Flash Morgan Webster has attacked her.
Oh, wow.
To take her place. Flash Morgan Webster playing a heel in this company.
Yeah.
Which is not very often for him, but yeah.
Okay, so Bear said little lag and buffering. So, no, Sam did not say he was hooking up with The Rock. But then they also asked, if you were wrestlers, what style of wrestling would you use? I would be... do you know what? Like, the ones who I like most in terms of style, they said AJ Styles is awesome as well, so I go for that, Bear. But style of wrestling, I would say that I go for something like AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk. I like a good mix of technical wrestling and a little bit of high flying and hard hitting, these educated feet and stuff like that. So that's what I would go for. Dave?
I'd probably be the cowardly heel. And just try and run away from things as much as possible.
Yeah. Okay, Sam?
I would want to be like a proper high flyer.
What,
everything
Ricochet?
Fast. Like everything really fast paced, everything from the top rope, bouncing off the ropes. I'd want to be able to do a handspring and then bounce back and elbow people. I'd want to do all of that stuff. Sort of very much... sort of Rey Mysterio, Lucha Libre style.
Yeah, great. Okay, so Bear 2019 said that they would be a striker.
Nice.
Okay, so
everyone's ganging up on Big T now in the ring.
That always happens in a rumble of any kind.
Oh,
low blow.
Oh no, come on.
He's out.
That is ridiculous.
Yes, TK.
Yeah, get the right momentum on a big guy. That's what happens. I love Flash just like celebrating as well. It's like they did absolutely nothing. During that part.
See, I remember when they changed it from Charlie Morgan to Flash Morgan Webster as well.
Yeah, fearless Charlie Morgan to gutless Flash Morgan Webster.
Yeah.
See, I tweeted Flash a few months ago the fact that when I first saw him, I was like, you look like a wrestling version of Rodney Trotter from Only Fools and Horses. And
most people compare him to the lad from the In-Betweeners.
Oh, really? Oh, no, he is Rodney Trotter. Like, the picture I first saw of him, when I tweeted him, I think either he liked... or another WWE UK wrestler, NXT UK wrestler liked it as well.
Shikara's
okay,
back
so
in there now to say this.
We're getting a very active chat from Bear. So we're doing this watch along, but I'm happy to chat along and answer because we're getting some good questions here.
What's Bear watching us on Twitch?
On Twitch, yeah. So Bear 2019 says,
on the Twitch, then.
I wish I could be a high flyer, but I'm 6'4". You don't want to be a high flyer.
Same as me.
Yeah,
I'm 6'4" as well.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
He can still be a high flyer, I think.
But
Will Ospreay's only a touch over 6 foot. He's a big guy. He's still a high flyer.
They bring up another really interesting question. I'm happy for us to answer questions as we're doing this watch along, so we'll try and juggle both. If anyone out there has any questions, always feel free to ask us questions. But some of these would be great topics for just shows. And here's one. Who do you think the ugliest wrestler of all time is? And I already know who my answer is straight off. And that is Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Oh,
if you look at the face on that man, he is the human embodiment of Jabba the Hutt. So,
well, this guy. Just a quick story about this guy, Fraser Thomas. He used to be a 400-pounder, well over 400 pounds.
Really?
I can't remember his ring name, but it was in the national newspapers a while ago as this guy had just lost an incredible amount of weight. He was just, as I say, he was a very, very big guy, and he was basically told by one of his friends he didn't want to be carrying his coffin as a pallbearer and things like that, and that made him sort of like lose weight. I think it's something,
mate. You know
something to do with family health as well, or something like that. But he basically drew himself to become like this lean big guy now.
Yeah. So hang on, was he a wrestler at the time? And his friend who's also a wrestler was like, mate,
I don't know if his friend was a wrestler. As I say, a friend of his was like, you're really big, you need to lose weight or something. That's essentially it.
Yeah.
But he was a wrestler as a 400-pounder as well. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so
you want to talk about the ugly wrestlers? I think this guy's probably up there.
Oh yeah.
I love Wild Boar. He's great. But he's not oil painted.
No.
But this run in the Rumble is great. Just watch this 2-minute spurt he's got. Package pile driver, which is not allowed to use an NXT. And watch TK. TK elimination is actually done after the pile driver. Drew gets the same treatment, and TK does the same to Drew.
Oh gosh, it's all
TK's
chaos.
just following up.
Getting pile driven.
Yeah, so he's just following up, eliminating everyone, and poor little Zero Luxton's about to get the same treatment.
Oh.
Ah.
I think my choice. I can't remember his name for the obvious wrestler. The guy who used to eat the turnbuckles.
Oh,
George the Animal Steel.
Yeah, George Steele.
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's up there.
I think there's a guy that's a guy called Ian Harrison. There's a really ugly guy. He was on XWF, which was like this company. It was
Hulk
like
Hogan
being like Hulk Hogan was in for a little bit. It was sort of like a fall between end of TNA, the beginning of TNA, and end of like the Invasion and WCW and all that sort of stuff. And that was a beautiful package file driver on all the websites.
Oh, good.
But he's like a steroidy sort of guy, really Roy D. Magoo sort of wrestler, but just was a really, really ugly guy. British guy as well, really weird.
Ian Harrison.
Really ugly, and Boar is gone.
Yeah, Wild Boar's out.
Oh.
Ian Harrison, wrestler. Okay, let's see what we can dig up on
Jabba the Hutt wrestling would be funny. It's just Pepe.
Oh, they've also asked, man, there's so many questions. It's like a Q&A. I feel like we're at a press conference. I'm not complaining.
Chuck Mambo.
Chuck
one of the big sort of Riptide, one of the more popular guys of Riptide.
Okay, so is he like a bodybuilder?
Custom theme, that.
I vaguely recognise this guy.
I hate to say it, but TK definitely walked into that.
And much of a choice is like,
here
if you get in this to happen.
There's
that's him, yeah.
Ian Harrison. Well, he's just like one of these bodybuilders who I find I don't quite find the appeal in doing that to yourself. Okay, Bear also asks us, what's our favourite match type of... You need to check the archives, all our shows. I'm sure we've done our favourite match types.
I don't think we said what our favourite ones were, those ones. I would say the Royal Rumble.
I look forward to the Royal Rumble more than any... If I only could see one wrestling match each year, it would be the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And would you rather be in a match with Sami Callihan or Luchasaurus one-on-one? Luchasaurus. I'd much rather be in the ring with Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus seems a genuine nice guy when you see him in like interviews. Sami Callihan comes across very much like he does on TV. I would trust my life more in the hands of Luchasaurus.
Yeah, Luchasaurus doesn't spit as much in matches as Sami Callihan either, so I'd probably prefer that.
Yeah, I don't really know much about Sami Callihan, but I've seen Luchasaurus.
That
was a great save there.
So relating to what we said earlier, Sami Callihan lost the Impact World Championship to Tessa Blanchard.
I feel like, hasn't he had some matches with Ken Shamrock recently, Sami Callihan?
Yeah. Was he in NXT?
This guy's another really funny guy, Lord Gideon Gray. Sorry, I missed what you said there, David.
Was Sami Callihan ever with WWE, NXT, or...?
Yeah, he was Solomon Crowe in NXT.
Yeah, there you go.
I was there for a little bit, but he...
Didn't work out.
But yeah, the thing about Luchasaurus is as long as you can avoid the kicks, you're pretty much safe. So I think I'd go against Luchasaurus.
Yeah, so Bear says Sami Callihan is a sadistic bastard. Yeah, and do you know what?
Yeah.
He's either very good, but I believe that that's his personality in real life.
So speaking of personalities, on the mic at the moment is Lord Gideon Gray. He's too tired to wrestle. He just wants to have a nap, so he's brought his travel pillow out with him.
What? You're saying there is a second Orange Cassidy?
He's a really funny guy. It was just the Lord character before, but in Riptide again, he's sort of like being able to branch out a little bit and just be a dick, really. But no, he just doesn't. He can't be bothered with the championship opportunity. He just wants the things. Yeah, he's giving him his shirt to work.
I can't believe
hot in there. And it was hot in there.
So
it's not right in June, really hot.
Who came up with this gimmick first? Him or Cassidy?
Well, it's not It's not the same as Orange Cassidy. It's just arsing around. It's just
so he's just tired just once. It's not that he's always lazy.
Yeah, no. It's not a regular character for him. He's just like, I mean, it's too hot in there. He wants to say, "No, he didn't spoon my Sierra Upson."
Yeah.
So it's quite an enviable position.
Yeah.
And Mama's going to join him.
It's a spoon train.
Okay, so we've got another question coming through. First, he says, Callahan sweats like a pig and has a bit of a big stomach. They were just burying Sammy Callahan here.
I wouldn't want to like ask persons if he sweats like a pig or not. You know, no. Might be assault of pigs.
Right. Okay. So, what was your first exposure to wrestling, and were you an instant fan? Yes. I'm trying to remember. It was probably I'd already seen it by this point, but almost the first thing I would have seen would have been the 1992 Royal Rumble. That was the first live show I'd seen, but I'd seen some tapes that my auntie, who had Sky TV, had recorded, and so I was able to see some stuff from '91. But the first show I saw when it was like, this is a new show, was the 1992 Royal Rumble.
Just watching Lion Kid now in the ring. He's called Simba, and there he is.
And now he's beating people up with a cuddly toy.
And this is Jim Cornette's favourite moment in any wrestling match ever.
Is it actually? Because surely there's a lot worse.
I'm being sarcastic. Cornette would hate this.
Yeah. Oh, but you know what? There's so much worse. There is the Invisible Man versus the Invisible Stan.
I love that match. That's 5 stars for me. That's great.
Jesus Christ. There's what else isn't he not a fan of? He's not a fan of, well, obviously Kenny Omega versus the 7-year-old girl. Have you seen that, Dave?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Do you know what?
He holds that against Omega to this day.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, I'm not necessarily a fan of stuff which can like affect wrestling overall, because I do believe that silly stuff can affect it. But it is actually, for what it is, it's a well put together match.
Yeah, so time of the draw, and bell rings just as about to do the one ring angel.
Yeah. Trying to sleep.
So I think I tried to get a chant of giving Simba.
Okay, so what's Mufasa's name here?
This is Lion Kid.
Lion Kid. That's a good name for a wrestler. He's
interesting character. So he's sort of like a bit of a veteran in Britain for like longest time. And it's come to this thing where he's a very popular character for family shows for kids and things like that, kids shows. But in adult shows, he was a little bit like out of his depth a bit. So he ended up. Oh, there goes Sierra.
Okay, so
he ended up doing this sort of thing where he was the kid in the ring. So he was like being like more of a kid, sort of like. So he was like saying, it's an adult show, so I get to do some naughty words and all this sort of palaver. It was just sort of worked for him. It sort of like turned his opinion of him quite a lot. Shax in now.
Okay, do you know what? Like Bear 2019, you are capturing my attention a lot. I do apologise. We are watching Riptide Rumble 2018. But controversial. Do you know what? There's 2 controversial things they've asked here. One, I'll ask them both at once, but one I couldn't possibly answer. Bit of controversial wrestling topic: NXT or AEW. But then the other topic, it says, if you was to wake up one day and be laying next to any wrestler, male or female, who would it be? Now, I cannot answer that. But Sam, I believe... Yeah, Sam, you may be able to.
Trish Stratus, all the way.
There you go. So you got an answer. But, okay, what I will answer, NXT or AEW, I will say very strongly AEW. For the reason that what it represents, one, I'm really enjoying their product overall, but what it represents, just in terms of the potential for there to be a different mindset and a different approach to professional wrestling, I support AEW. Not that I don't. I love NXT. Okay, they say they prefer NXT. Well, that's cool. I like NXT. I just like the idea of what AEW means for the business of professional wrestling. Anyone team NXT here?
I think before sort of like the world went into isolation, I actually probably was preferring a little bit of NXT to AEW. But I got to be honest, I'm not really watching the regular TV show, any of the regular TV shows at the moment. So I think for the fact that pay-per-view was a lot better than I expected, I probably would be leaning more towards AEW at the moment.
Did you see in your house?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Enjoyed it for the most part. Right, so this is Chief Deputy Dunn, the leader of the anti-fan police, and at the moment Santos has just found himself in a situation where he's being dressed in other wrestlers' stuff and has a lion on his back. And it's just like, what the hell is going on?
Do you know what? His voice then, like the screechy blend of the accents, was very funny.
It was just shouts something like that. It's hilarious.
There's a lion on my back. A little bit Abbott and Costello like.
What's that supposed to do with a lion?
It was fun.
Which is, of course, the worst thing that a member of the anti-fan police can have.
Okay, so
Santos won a Twitter poll recently for the most fun wrestler. He beat people like Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, The Rock on this Twitter poll, and he got fired from the anti-fan police because of it. Until they finally brought him back after a series of things that happened.
Oh my goodness!
I'm trying to backdrop Santos over the top. That's not going to happen.
No. Okay, so I think we can all agree on this. So just to make sure that Bear doesn't feel like we're traitors to their belief, they say NXT is better than Raw and SmackDown.
That's right.
Can we all agree on that at least? I can. Yes, NXT is better than Raw and SmackDown combined.
Oh God, yeah. I've not watched Raw or SmackDown for like the longest time.
I do struggle with 3 hours of Raw.
Although they seem to be struggling again even more now they've demoted Paul Heyman and they're going to have Bruce Pritchard leading the entire team for both shows now.
Yeah. Heyman is out. To think, it's only a year, less than a year, I believe. So Heyman and Bischoff.
Simba's eliminated.
No. Yeah, what do you make of that? Why would you... Okay, so I'm not sure that I've been a big fan of Raw, but everyone says it's still McMahon's show. It's not really what Heyman would do. But now, Raw and SmackDown both under Pritchard. I'm not sure about that. It just basically means Vince is running everything again.
Well, what do you expect from this company? A guy that decides to fire a load of employees when there's a worldwide pandemic.
Well, and also, he closed down XFL in the middle of their debut season just so that he could save the money and not have to pay the wages.
Yeah.
I think it's terrible.
It's an arsehole.
Yeah.
Storyline arsehole is this guy in the ring now, Rob the Gob Lias, who was basically he doesn't like this intergender bollocks as he describes it. And has basically just been on the way to the ring there, has just been shouting about how the men should face the men, the women should face the women, and that they wouldn't stand a chance with him and all that sort of stuff. So obviously Shax is now beating the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Except she's one of the tiniest wrestlers I've
I was going to say, the size there is ridiculous.
Under 5 foot, I think she is.
Wow.
That is tiny.
Okay, Sam, here's another question specifically for you, because Dave, I don't think you'll want to answer this. Right,
okay.
Would you rather wake up with Big Show sitting on your face?
I've seen it.
Or Pete Dunne taking a dump in your car?
Pete Dunne taking a dump in the car all the way.
Yeah, Pete Dunne taking a dump in the car. Why would I want to wait? What? There's no parallel there. What? Sitting on the face. Right, so bear in mind that Bob Ross just said about all this stuff about women. Look who the next entrant is.
Please say it's someone like Awesome Kong. Oh, it's Viper!
It's Viper.
Okay.
Piper
we saw her a few weeks ago on the Irish show.
She was... she's... that was a massive reaction. Nobody expected her. There's one of the big surprises of the night.
I've not really done that much in NXT UK, even though she's billed as like this great behemoth wrestler.
It sort of shows what you need to say about NXT UK. She's awesome, Viper. I absolutely love her. She's tremendous.
Yeah. Do you know, again, I saw something which I didn't follow up reading. Like more NXT UK shows have been postponed, cancelled. Surely it's not going to go. I think there's WWE don't rely on it. They could.
No.
They can bring it back anytime. Like it being on pause doesn't really affect anything.
No. Oh, it literally is just for like a new weekly show every week on the network, and even then it's not the most looked at. And rightly, Viper's just eliminated
you say that, Dave. Surely now that NXT is on national TV in the US, I believe NXT UK is maybe the most watched show that people.
Oh, maybe it is.
That's what I heard. I might be wrong.
What's this?
Oh, hello.
Santos.
Viper
Do you know what?
Very strong.
That was impressive, but it looked a little bit sloppy. But I put more of the blame on him than her.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so far down she can reach for that, but it's down there. But they still managed to put it off.
Yeah, but it wasn't that she buckled under his weight. I don't think he positioned himself well.
Yeah.
What's going on? Oh my god! What is this?
I remember getting on Viper's shoulders.
Look at that. She's got the strength.
Yeah.
Oh, thumb to the eye.
Choke
slam from here.
Oh,
Poison Rana.
First Rana.
That's
what I mean. Santos can do stuff like that. You can get over for moves like that.
That was absolutely brilliant.
Okay.
Players getting mullered here.
So Big Show crushes your face, or you need a new car. I'd rather need a new car. I don't want my face crushed.
You don't need a new car. You can clean that
exactly.
up.
I wouldn't clean that up.
You don't think you need a new car if Pete Dunne had taken a dump in your car. You just clean it. Get a valet to do it.
I wouldn't clean it. Guys, he's the future of British wrestling. I'd keep that in like a museum.
That's big wavy Roy Johnson.
He's got a very old football shirt on.
He's I think that's literally the football. I don't know what shirt that is, but it's a rival of Brighton's.
Okay, I don't understand this next question. Would you rather your friend comes over and they find an Oscar or Alexa Bliss body pillow? What does that mean? Like a dead body?
So, I find either Asuka or Alexa Bliss body pillow. I don't know what a body pillow is.
No, nor do I.
A body pillow is like it's a massive pillow that basically I think it's sort of like the size from your waist up.
So it's got
a pillow.
Yeah, but it's got a shape in it where basically you can like properly cuddle up to it.
So like a sack race sort of situation.
Sort of more like the back sofa cushion.
Right.
I would go Alexa Bliss all day long.
I'd go Asuka.
I'd much rather cuddle up to Alexa Bliss. Because Asuka seems a little bit crazy at the moment.
Okay, so
sort of down to the thing. I think I just did. Yeah, the Fun Police got eliminated during that entrance, so missed their elimination.
Santos went over the top rope and nearly landed on you. It looked like.
Oh no, it was on the outside of the ring. I think on that one, but I don't remember that because I think the Chief had been eliminated and he ran, going "Get me done!" and just got chucked over. His undying loyalty to his captain.
Any more questions from Bear Bear?
Okay, let's see. Bear Bear, do you have anything else? Well, Bear Bear's
become just the fourth member of the show.
So they prefer, Oscar is personally they think Oscar is their preference. They've also said that Takeover in Your House was predictable, but top notch. Also, my fave female wrestler is who's this coming out now?
Oh, I know who this guy is. It's the pastor, William Eva.
Right, Io Shirai. Sorry, I was lost. Okay, they've put in more comments, so. There is like 10 years difference, though. Between what?
Asuka and Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
And so what?
I think maybe that's why I went for Alexa Bliss. She's the younger of the two, and she's closer to my age.
So Pastor William Eva, yes, that is a pun. Shorten it to Bill. He's a religious character, but he looks like Jesus basically.
He does.
Yeah.
This is sort of like he returned from like quite a bad injury at this point, and this is his debut for Riptide, but it's his first sort of time back after a bit of a bad injury with leg. He's sort of been worrying a few people lately. He's had a few interesting Twitter rants and
genuine ones or in character or
we don't know.
Oh dear.
His own character. He does another character now called the Present William Evo, where he's sort of like a street preacher. Has like a microphone and his own sort of speaker to speak speaks politics through his speaker all the time.
Yeah, okay.
He's quite a fun character, but he's I don't know. It's just he's worrying a few people at the moment on the old online stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Sam,
he has the power. He has the power of the Lord, though, because he's able to do this.
See, that's what I was talking about, the cinematic wrestling, the special powers, you know. Okay, if I could have any power, I would basically have something like this. So basically you're like Magneto.
Powers of the Force.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Sam, you wanted another question. There is one. Would you rather find a Big Show-sized Rey Mysterio or a Rey Mysterio-sized Big Show?
So say that again.
Would you rather find a Big Show-sized Rey Mysterio or a Rey Mysterio-sized Big Show?
Well, I'd rather find one or fight one. I don't know.
It says find one. Joe, maybe they mean fight. That might make a bit more sense. But would you rather?
That's one of those things of why would you rather have? Would you rather fight one Big Show-sized Rey Mysterios or 10?
Oh, here comes
Rey Mysterio sized Big Shows.
Yeah.
I think both.
I think a Big Show-sized luchador would be quite fun to find.
Okay, the questions now, Bear, like some of your questions. This next one is another one for Sam.
Oh Jesus!
Oh my God. Okay.
Bear, fancy me or something.
What are you doing to us?
I don't know. Right, so
Zach Gibson's the 30th entrant. Here we go.
Would you rather lick? Would you rather lick Ric Flair's bathrobe or Charlotte Flair's toilet? And then they comment, "I hate Charlotte
Flair."
I would lick Ric Flair's bathrobe. Why would you ever lick someone's toilet?
Yeah. Of the two, I mean, I wouldn't want to lick any toilet.
Yeah.
Whereas, realistically, he only wears his robe out to the ring as well. He doesn't exactly get hot and sweaty in it, so...
I'm sure he has done.
I was talking his bathrobe, or he's talking his ring robe.
Oh, yeah, it's his bathrobe.
His dressing gown.
Oh, you know that his bathrobe has got the feathers. There's no way that Ric Flair has a normal
100%.
bathrobe.
You know, this bathrobe, baby. Woo! With style and profile. Have to get out of the bathroom. So Roy Johnson's gone. I think we're down to the final four, Final 4 or 5.
Looks like it.
So I've already got in there. We've got Viper, Chuck Mambo, Pastor William Eva, and Zach Gibson. Who's winning, guys?
You've got to go for the power of the Lord, haven't you?
Okay, go through the list again, please, because I can't remember everyone's name.
So Pastor William Eva, who's fighting Zach Gibson at the moment, and Chuck Mambo's in the lime green. And TK Cooper's in the dungarees, I forgot about him, and Viper.
Well, it's not TK Cooper then.
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh, there goes William Eva's just gone. There we are.
Okay,
I'm going for the power of the Lord.
I'm going for Viper.
Okay.
Well, I might be about to regret this.
Obviously, I can't say because obviously I was there. I know. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. If you forgot TK was in the ring, it's not him.
Oh yeah, true. And in that case, Zach Gibson
that's a good point.
really annoying afterwards.
Doing a point to WrestleMania sign.
Oh, I love it.
There's no WrestleMania sign up there, but it was pointing to it anyway. They're all like, what are you pointing to? Oof.
All of them are down. All down.
Down. It's interesting way of getting a whole series of clotheslines. It wasn't the prettiest thing, but it was effective.
Riptide.
Oh, hello.
Riptide.
Oh.
Hello. Flash Morgan Webster's still in the match.
Morgan Webster. He went under the bottom rope.
Yeah, he was ever eliminated from that package bar driver earlier.
See, I never get when people do that. It always looks like it hurts more than anything.
I can crack my neck, but only one way.
Okay, so we've got a couple more interesting questions come through. So, one we don't have to answer, which is, would you poop in Big Show or Randy Orton's bag? So I guess it's like, who would you rather have mad at you?
Oh, there we go.
Randy Orton, I'd go for. I'm pretty sure I've heard stories that he does that quite a lot.
Right. Watch this dive, guys. So, Charlie Morgan's going to come back out to eliminate Fresh Oil website. That is... We were both like... You can see me and Helen both like, what the hell just happened?
My God.
They were flying out, but they're still okay. Charlie Morgan, another one who's unfortunately had to retire in recent years as well.
Why have so many of these got to retire?
I know, everyone just gets these unfortunate injuries. They put so much
do you know what?
force on themselves and risk on themselves. It's just bullshit,
but
really.
That's something where I'll say that for any criticisms of something like NXT UK, if there's the UK Performance Centre, and we're also speaking about wrestlers training themselves and stuff, that's where, if there is something over here which will give where your trainer is Shawn Michaels, then you're gonna be better trained. Okay, so what's your favourite? A lot
of people just got to stop like some of the high risks that some
take, because like
and they have to preserve themselves.
So yeah, exactly. So this is a good show and it's well produced. But if they're wrestling like some of the stuff that we've seen on this show, and they're doing it on a much smaller scale, you don't need to.
We're down to the final three now. It's Mambo, Cooper, and Gibson in the final three. Boom.
Dave, what's your favourite chocolate bar? Bear Bears is Milky Way.
A chocolate bar. I like a Twix when I get a Twix. That's always good.
That was very good.
Yeah.
That's a great elimination. Oh.
I just don't trust this question after the last one of the bag. Which bag is this coming out of? Orton's or Big Show's?
What, the chocolate bar?
Well, it's such a weird combination of questions, one after another.
I think over the years of like Orton doing it to other people, I probably would shit in Orton's bag over Big Show's.
Okay, did you hear that rib that Orton would do, where he'd like be tucking his tights in?
Yeah.
And someone would come in and be like, "Oh, hi there," and they'd put out his hands to shake, and people would it's like,
yeah.
You don't want to shake my hand. Do you know what? Like, I think that is pretty rough, but it's also something quite funny about it.
It's
Well, just don't shake his hand.
I'm calling it a rib as well. It's like, it's funny, eh? It's like, no, it's disgusting, mate.
Yeah. Well, just don't shake the hand. There'd be nothing, I wouldn't shake Orton's hand after that.
Have you seen recently that he trolled people on Twitter by making it look like he just bought a plane?
Orton bought a plane?
No, he didn't, but he made it look like he did.
Yeah, okay.
It looked like he was on a private jet and he took a selfie, and people then started the rumour that he had bought a plane for himself.
Ah.
He's arguing a lot of NXT wrestlers at the moment as well over thigh slaps.
Yeah.
A bit of an online feud with Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa said that he uses Randy Orton matches to put his daughter to sleep.
But guys, aren't you excited for the greatest wrestling match of all time? I mean, where did that come from? It's ridiculous.
I don't know. It was so clumsily added to that whole thing, wasn't it? So that interviewer saying, "Wow, if this match does happen, it may be the greatest wrestling match of all time." It's like, why you can't build something as that?
Yeah,
because those sort of things are totally a product of just like, I don't know. You can't build something like that and expect it to live up to that kind of hype.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you big it up too much before it happens, then people's expectations are so high, it can only go down from there.
Now, apparently, feedback for it's already been filmed, and feedback for it is good.
Well, of course, it's going to be good, isn't it? It's not going to say what's shot it.
Oh, it's Mambo!
There goes Mambo wins!
Wow.
Go on, Mambo!
That's a great elimination.
Where the hell did that?
Yeah, that was the
beach stuff come from.
Beach balls all come from the top
right?
thing. They've all got them up. They got them up on the top floor there, throwing them in.
Wow.
That was his thing. Everyone throw beach balls into the ring for his entrances. Yeah,
Gibson
gets his comeuppance. So yeah, that's the Riptide Rumble, guys.
Ah, great show.
Very enjoyable.
So there's another little bit we could watch the start of a bit, but it doesn't massively matter if we do or not. But just in the show with Mambo sort of had it was his 2019 was sort of his year. He just had a really good breakout sort of match in progress in May against Zack Sabre Jr. in a losing effort, where he looked really good in the match and sort of showed his that he was really improving as an in-ring guy, and obviously Riptide just really took him to as a headliner and all that sort of stuff. So with companies like this, Riptide of a certain level, they can take guys that are lower level everywhere else, but can bring them up to a higher plane so they can improve.
Very good.
And Mambo also does this bit, but then one of his legit best friends comes out to the ring right now, Eddie Dennis, who at this point is just coming off a long way off from injury as well. And it's sort of Eddie Dennis's sort of place that Mambo was taking in certain places. So he was always, because he couldn't do certain things because of his injury, so he was sort of recommended Mambo.
Yeah.
So I think that's sort of the basis of this speech bit here, which we don't really need to watch. So he comes out to sort of challenge him for the place in the tournament he's just won, to sort of to say, prove to me that you are worthy of this spot by beating me, because I'm the one who's basically given you these spots and all that sort of stuff from laying off and recommending you and all that sort of stuff. Which my friend Helen would remark at the end of the show, it was like, so Mambo's just won this massive Rumble match and then he's just going to put it on the line against his mate.
Yeah.
So this is a bit pointless at the end of it. But yeah, as I say, it's not 100% necessary to watch all that. I'll just turn the sound down for now. So what did you think overall, sort of because obviously I told you it's the cinematic wrestling, and I know David, you already said that you were sort of expecting something different because of what cinematic wrestling is now.
Yes.
But what did you guys sort of make of the production and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I thought it was very good production. I think there's I'd be interested to see what their most recent show is, if this is their 1 year into their promotion, like you said, they didn't share something before because they hadn't quite got it, to their standard or whatever. But this is very good. There's a lot of as we can see, even as I'm watching now, stuff like lens flare and stuff, which gives it a very interesting look. Sometimes it makes what you're seeing a bit hazy, but I think it's, especially just when we first started watching it, they'd have the swoops around the ring and stuff. It was very different, very unique. I like the look of the production. It's interesting, actually. I haven't thought about it because we've been speaking. There wasn't commentary, was there?
No commentary.
I didn't pay attention to that until literally just now when I was thinking about it. But audio-wise, so you can't quite judge it so much there. But audio-wise, for the most part, even now, we can hear them quite well on the mic. So, one of the major things with indie promotions is if they get rubbish audio, it can really bring it down. But yeah, this was a well-presented show, I think.
One of the things they've done since this show and their production is that anytime there has been a promo on there, whether it's to camera or on the mic like it is now, they put subtitles on the back on the bottom as well, just to sort of help it along. What do you reckon, Sam?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Obviously, it's one of these ones even when we watched OTT, it's I recognised a lot of the names that were on the card. Whereas with this, I only recognise sort of 3, 4, maybe 5 at most. So it's nice to see wrestlers that I haven't seen as much of, who can still pull off some amazing things. And it was very interesting to watch all of them. Like Chuck Mambo went and won the Rumble at the end, and I'd never even heard of him before. So, yeah, really, really cool. I really enjoyed that.
Good. That's it. Yeah, I think as I say, I'm glad it's all as I say, everyone's watching or listening. Riptide's obviously got their own VOD service as well. Obviously, they have got a few shows on what we've been watching on Power Slam and on High Spots and things like that. And they're on a few other promotions, pivot shares as well. But they're a good company to sort of support. They seem to be like doing all the right things at the moment, not just in terms of like the wrestling shows as well, but just in terms of the world in general. They seem to be like always promoting the right things. So do want to give them a month subscription. I highly recommend it. Their shows are all very watchable. They don't up to say they're welcome either. So it was that's good, like 2 hours, 20 minutes what we've just been watching there. But their shows sort of cap off usually around an hour 45 and that sort of thing. So they're not usually long to watch either, but they're all really pretty to watch. Got some really unique matches, as I say, in there. David Vincent Phillips stuff, which is always worth seeking out, which you've got to seek out. But look at their YouTube as well. They've got a few free matches on there, so I think they've got that David Vincent Phillips match on their YouTube. They've also got like a Cara Noir versus Pac, which I was in attendance for as well, which was incredible because Pac was a mystery surprise. It wasn't announced for it for that particular show. And you've got things like their Bank Holiday show. As I say, they did 2 shows on the Bank Holiday Monday in August last year, which was at the Brighton Open Air Theatre, and their hard cam was a drone cam.
Wow.
The drone was flying around all day doing, taking some wonderful aerial shots of everything. The production's always just top notch. And they're
hard
really,
cam was a drone. I've got a drone,
Ah.
and literally the lifespan on my drone is 15 minutes.
It's better than my one, but I got one of those little ones from Wish.com. It only lasts 5 minutes. Charge it for an hour, and go like it lasts 5 minutes.
Yeah, like
So
again,
yeah.
mine lasts 15 minutes. That's amazing.
But no, they had a lot of battery life in that little drone. So good so it's fun to watch. Sort of didn't realise it. Just had this buzzing in the air. Like, what's going on? You see this drone. You're like,
It's Vanguard 1.
Hard camera. Excellent. Yeah.
Or Neo 1 or something the new one's
Whatever
called.
the new one is.
Yeah.
That's Riptide. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying the shows I've been picking so far. I'll have to pick a really, really bad one, sort of like to read next time.
Do it. Okay, so let's just have a quick check because there's a couple more things in the comments. If anyone wants to say anything in the comments before we wrap up, do feel free to put anything now. If you've got any questions, any shout outs, stuff like that, we'll read them out. But first of all, there is a question here directly for you, Sam. Like directly for you.
Right.
Bear 2019 says, let's ask the wise man in the stream. Sam, are my questions quality?
Well, they certainly invoke more questions from me than maybe I can answer, because I'm wondering, who this mysterious bear is.
Yeah.
Why do they seem to have so much of an affection towards me? They're of a standard. You get some of them where you're seeing them or you're hearing them and you go, oh, that's a weird question, but thanks for asking. Some of them you actually have to think about them. I enjoy that as well. I think they're weird and wonderful, if nothing else.
Well, you'll be pleased that there is one more question that we didn't answer, which I think is an interesting question. So it says, Bear asks, out of the 4 main countries wrestling is big, what has the least exposure? So I'm trying to even work that out. America, Japan, Mexico, and
US, Mexico, Japan, and here.
Europe.
And here would this be 4th, or Canada?
I suppose it'd be us.
Yeah, quite possibly.
We don't have like an international company that puts on television products and pay-per-views and things like that. Whereas
well, I suppose that NXT UK instantly means that the second biggest thing for WWE.
Yeah, but that's the WWE thing, which is an American company, isn't it? We don't have one of our own that goes out to things unless World Sport, which sort of be repeated in random places at the moment.
So which has the least exposure? Well, it's definitely us.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
we don't, because America has WWE and AEW. Mexico has CMLL and AAA. Japan has New Japan, All Japan, Big Japan,
loads of them.
DDT, all sorts of places.
Okay, Sam, just to follow up though, Bear says, I don't have an affection towards you. Just questions suit your needs. So in other words, you could answer about who would you wake up against, and I wouldn't dare answer such a question.
I'm worried about what Bear knows about you, Sam. That he's asking you about Big Show sitting in your face and Pete Dunne pooing in your car. That's what your needs are.
I don't know, but they put me back in my place, haven't they?
Yeah. Okay,
I'm gonna Photoshop you in the corner getting something from Rikishi. I think that'll be
that would be brilliant. Okay, so where does that bring us? So who's choosing the theme for next week? Is it me?
I think it's your turn.
Oh my god. Okay, so I need to come up with a theme. I think, do you know what, one thing I like, and I'm going to try and promote this more. I like getting questions along the way. I would like to do something perhaps a bit with a bit more focus on interactivity like this, because I think it's a good type of show along the way. But even if it's a bit, and I spoke about this before, and then we didn't go through with it. I'm going to prepare something which, because obviously if you're watching this, Bear, and we appreciate you particularly interacting with us. Thank you, Bear. But obviously we spoke about this before, doing an improv show based around wrestling, which we will still do. That's not the plan here. But earlier when we did the extreme improv show, we did what was called a category battle, where I put it to Dave and Sam to name wrestling submission holds in quick succession, and I want to do something which is a little bit of a quiz, a little bit challenge based, and I think all of us, you know, I don't want to just say like I'm emceeing it and like you two are the contestants. I think we can all come up with some ideas of things to do during this like podcast, which we'll live stream, where there can be challenges where we have to do category battles, where we have to answer quiz questions, where we have to do scavenger hunt style things. But I'm going to set the first challenge now. And this is for all three of us. And I promise you I haven't been working on this. So, Dave, Sam and myself, over the next week, so that we can present when we do Superkick Mania Pro Wrestling podcast, and especially the stream version, let's see whether it's through Twitter, which may be the easiest, but any social media, what is the best interaction we can present during the course of from now to next week when we do this? The best interaction we can present that we've had with someone in the pro wrestling industry. Now, it could just be, if we don't get a response back, that we say something to someone and other people like it, retweet it, something like this. Or it could be that we do something to get a response back from one of the wrestlers or personalities. That will be a challenge, but there will be several others. But let's see what we can achieve. And guys, if you've got other things on and you can't do it, I know Sam, you're rehearsing and playing stuff. But if we achieve nothing, then that's fine too. But this is the first challenge. What is the biggest response, or the best response, or selection of responses we can get to fulfill this challenge, to get an interaction with someone in the pro wrestling industry? Okay? And we can interpret it however you want. Okay. So, Bear has actually commented with a challenge for us. Okay. But Bear, I'm going to say this now. We're not going to do it now. So
if it involves poo, no.
No, it's not going to involve food. So first of all, I'll say don't try this at home is the general rule. But Bear says we can do more things like this, because this was on my mind a little bit as well. But it says, show us who can perform a wrestling move the best on a plush. So,
what's a plush?
Like a plush toy. Like
I don't have one.
This is a plush toy. Well, you've got a week to find something to do a move on.
I can do one right now.
No. You've got to save it for next week. We've got a week to practice this. And then Wrestling Truth or Dare. Bear, like, make sure you tune in next week. It's probably going to be about 3 p.m. UK time next Friday. Because that's around about when we've been doing it. But Bear, if you're watching us, you're definitely watching us on Twitch. If you don't, only if you want to, but feel free to click the follow, because you'll be able to see when we go live. And anyone else out there, like, we're new to doing these live streams, wrestling podcasts, chatting. Always happy to have people chatting with us. We've been doing ones where we've been talking over like our favourite matches, our favourite wrestlers, deep dives on a wrestler like we spoke about earlier with The Rock. We've been doing watch-alongs. We do a variety of different shows. So I quite like the idea of doing one where we're going to have a little bit of madness involved, some macho madness. And that is the plan for next week. Dave, we didn't mention about your T-shirt this entire episode. I think. Oh yeah. Can you just?
I forgot to say that.
Yeah. Let's explain this very quickly.
So there was a very early Botchamania. There was a clip from New Japan Pro Wrestling where I think it's someone I can't remember who the wrestlers are. It might be Masato Tanaka or something like that. As put someone like Naito or something like a table, does a splash off the top rope through this Japanese table. And the commentator, for some reason, on the commentary, his comment on that is very, very, very breaky, bishy.
I need to look that up.
And it just Botchamania sort of just clipped that, and it became a thing. So it was a little meme for a while. But it's actually on a more serious note. This was the shirt itself was sold by Progress Wrestling during 2014-15. They named one of their shows after this. So they actually had a show in chapter 16, I think I want to say, was named this quote. But they sold these shirts for to raise funds for the late Chris Travis, who's a British wrestler who was suffering at the time from cancer, and sadly in 2015 passed away from it. Yeah. While he was still around, they were raising money for him and I think for Cavendish Cancer Care, which was one of the people who were looking after him. So the actual shirt itself was a nice sort of thing for him, but the actual quote is just some random New Japan thing.
Okay, no, I like it. Sam, have you seen much Botchamania?
Little bits, not that much. I remember once Kevin Owens was delivering a promo when he was Universal Champion. He stumbled over his words and then he looked at the camera and went, "Botchamania, you're welcome," or something like that.
No way. That's amazing. Sure he did. Wow. Generally on WWE, they've never acknowledged something like Botchamania. But, wow, I think...
CM Punk did Colt Cabana as well, didn't they?
CM Punk what?
CM Punk, during the pipe bomb speech...
He was like, "Hey, Colt Cabana." Yeah.
He mentioned Colt Cabana.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll have to do something in the future as well on our favourite botches and stuff like this. But, okay, we're going to wrap things up there. Bear said one last thing. Can you do stupid challenges like where you have to Photoshop wrestlers into weird situations and the best pick wins? Maybe. That sounds like a lot of...
I've been doing that a Photoshop thing with this course from these absolute muppets have been starting to be sort of exposed for what they are. But the thing of learning how to do Photoshop though is starting to.
Oh wow! I was going to say that.
Give it a go.
Yeah, I was going to say that sounds like that might be more effort than what we want. But
give it a go. I'll try out some funny Photoshops next week.
But what I can promise is we're not going to do anything with Sam and his car and the Big Show in his face. That's totally not going to happen.
Or Pete Dunne's.
Thank God.
Right, so from me, from Dave, from Sam, let's find out where we can find these guys.
The Poozerweight.
The what?
The Poozerweight.
The Poozerweight. Right, okay. So, yeah. Dave, where can the people find you?
You can find me at the following. I'm not quite as high-tech as Sam's at the moment. Follow me on Twitter at @DeGreeno. If you want to do wrestling stuff, that's the one to do so. But if you want to follow my acting page, it's Twitter at @D_Anthony_Green. On Facebook, it's David Anthony Green. And on Instagram, it's at David Anthony Green.
Okay. Sam, where can people find you?
Well, before I explain all of this, I'd like to say, Bear, if I don't get a new follow in the next 10 minutes, then I'm going to be very disappointed after the amount you've been.
Well, Bear actually says, before you go, say your own names. Now, I'm a little bit worried. That feels like he's going to get us to say our names, and then it'll be recording.
That name there is like a made-up name, is it?
Yeah. On Zoom.
Yeah. Okay, as long as you promise not to use our names in some sort of like hostage situation or something where you just play... Like, can you confirm your name? And it's like, Samuel George. I'm not going to say my name because I don't want to...
Oh, great, yeah, cheers.
Yeah.
Well, Bear and anyone else listening or watching, you can find me on Facebook at Sam George Performer. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Samuel O. George.
Oh, George. Okay, and my name is David Pistansky, and so I've tried to I've got to have a robot voice or something, but you can find me
on your Zoom there. You can see it.
Okay.
I really like though that normally on these, David just says, "Oh yeah, so my name's David Pistansky, spelled Pustansky." For some reason, when he's trying to cover it up, he then adds his middle name that he coughs over. What's that all about?
I don't know. Right. So Bear doesn't have Twitter, Facebook, or Insta. Sam, sorry. Right, but they're following us on Twitch, so they'll get back.
That is not my problem, Bear. Get yourself an account; it's free, and then follow me.
I'm on Twitch, Dave Green 1.
Okay, so excellent. I'll follow you then, Dave. I'm not even following you. Right, so okay. Right, I forgot what I'm saying. I might be, I can't remember. So, my name is David Pistansky. You follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at David Pistansky, Pustansky. This is the Superkick Mania Pro Wrestling Podcast, and of course that has its own Twitter at Superkick Mania, and it's part of the XStream Improv Podcast Network. As well as this show, we do live streaming comedy shows 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday at 8:30 p.m. UK time, and then on the Friday it's a 12 p.m. matinee before this one. So, until next time, are we gonna tune up the band?
Yeah.
Always.
Okay.
Take off my background.
Right. So, and I'm gonna have to say
coming out of that background would be quite cool.
Right. So, sweet chin music, Superkick Mania. Bah. Oh.
Yes.
Okay. And we're gone.
I had my microphone in the way and I nearly kicked it off.